ultimate purpose is not survival. It's finding purpose in what you love. I'm pumped to be branching out and being like, hey, we're going to sit down and have a couple-hour podcast. Is it?
Is it, dude?
Jesus Christ.
We just like talked for 5 minutes. I'm like, is it though? I've always been inspired by this shit.
Yeah. Dude, that pizza was so greasy.
It was disgusting.
It was not disgusting.
Disgusting.
Videos that she sent me when we first started dating, she sent me a Snapchat of her with a bottle of Chick-fil-A sauce like sitting in her handle in her car, and she's like, I keep that motherfucker on me. I was like, all
You're
right.
like, well,
I'm like, well,
a single tear rolled down your cheek, and you're like, this is the one, maybe.
Sealed deal.
This is the one.
I'm like, damn it. I was in my hoe phase, and here I am getting stuck with someone. Cheers, brother.
Awesome. Yeah. Cheers, man. Oh, look, it's not golfing season yet.
Oh.
You got your fireball shooter.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, I just, you know what? I was going to buy a fifth today because I drink Fireball like almost exclusively if I'm not drinking beer.
That's
and
an insane go-to drink.
I'm trashy.
I mean, I feel like Fireball should only be sold in those little bottles.
Fireball and Bud Light, dude. I'm trashy.
Woo, yeah, all right. But I see what we're getting into now.
Yeah.
I didn't
know.
didn't know, but all right, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, But if I buy a fifth though, then I have to like keep shot glasses here, and then I have to wash them and shit. So I'm like,
What are you talking about?
Why would I do all
a
that?
fifth of Fireball? You don't ever use a glass. You just drink it right out of that
If I'm-
plastic jug that it comes in.
For $8.
Yeah, they might as well just pour it into a plastic grocery bag and sell it that way.
Dude.
Just poke a hole in the bottom
Fucking
corner.
Like how they sell gas in India. Just
Yeah.
fucking here's a.
Yep, just go for it. Yeah, this is a cool little studio. This is a cool setup.
Can you turn my
guys
headphones
got-
down a little bit?
Thanks, man. Yeah. You were on. You're number 3, so I can turn down number 3. Look at that fancy shit. Is that better?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really loud. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Well, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, we just we were actually across the hallway here, and they started talking about this one coming available. And before we had literally enough room to have the table, and then the drum set was like a foot away from that.
Oh
And
yeah.
then- so, dude, we had this band Cougar and come on, and they brought like it was like the guitar player, the drummer, and the singers and rhythm guitar player. So you had 3 guys from the band, and then they had 2 managers come in, and we had a studio that was 9 by 11. Dude, by the time we left, it was
Everyone was deaf.
It was well, not only that, but it was like 200 degrees in the fucking
Yeah.
room. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude, we can't do this ever again.
Yeah, no, that's brutal.
But then we found out about this studio, and we're like, dude, yeah. Like, we walked into it, and we're like, oh, it's triple the size for not that much more money. Like, yeah, for sure, let's do that. So then I went psycho mode, and I took it from, like, baby pink and gray, and, like...
All right, well, I don't know that I support your decision to go black then. I mean, come on, baby pink and... What was it, blue? What?
Gray.
Gray?
Yeah, dude. What do you mean? This turned out fucking sweet.
You didn't want a 6-month-old girl's nursery as the theme of the show?
That's exactly what I said. When my son was making fun of it, I was like, this is like a... nursery. I hate this. He's like, we should have a gender reveal here. I'm like, shut up and paint, you know?
Right.
But hell yeah, dude. Yeah, it turned out good, man. I'm stoked on
Yeah,
it.
no, it's a cool space. It's a cool space. Usually, the pods are in someone's dingy basement, and you're hoping that the washer and dryer's not running behind you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
super sketch.
Turn the AC off.
Yeah.
I don't want that to go while we're going.
The neighbor's mowing the lawn as you're out there trying to.
Fuck you, Ron.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it started.
Yeah, it literally it started in my 6-year-old's bedroom. We had the idea of like we started a podcast. Me and my brother started a podcast back in like 2016.
Oh, okay.
And we did it for like a couple of episodes. But like really we were in a band.
Sorry.
It sounds like she just played a clip of the band. One bass string plucked. This used to piss her off before she was on the show, but me and my brother, anytime that would happen, we'd be like dun, 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 dun,
Every time. It was so annoying. I'm like, people don't want to hear that.
Well, Yeah, but you also said that you got confused and you thought, you're like, did I start this episode over? Or am I in the right spot? So she'd like start fast forwarding, be like, I haven't heard any of this, and then have to go back because we do it like several times in one episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So the episode or the podcast we started in 2016. I think we did 1 or maybe 2 episodes, but really we were just getting fucked up.
So a hell of a run.
I mean, like we just like wanted to do it, and we did all the things to get it started, and then just didn't do it. And so cut to fucking 10 years later, we're like, dude, let's do that. Like we actually like the idea of doing it, you know. And so like he was like, yeah, I'm down. And so I went like fully psychotic, and I was like, okay, we have a 4-bedroom house. This is when we lived in Holly. I can condense my 4-bedroom house, like condense the boys' room into one room, and then so I have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old in one room, and then we can have a studio. And so we did that, and it was fine, but it was then we were like, let's start having guests. It's like, I don't want guests in my fucking house.
Yeah, people, especially people you don't know. It's the first time you've ever met them, and they're just, I mean, so you do a lot of musicians is pretty much what. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and comics.
I'm a musician. I've been in bands, and the world of musicians. There are every spectrum of characters.
Right, right. Yeah, everyone from like
randomly coming into your house.
Everyone from like, oh, you're like on the spectrum and you're really good with numbers, and that's why you love music. Right. All the way to like, oh, you're active heroin addict. All right, sick. Yeah. You're not coming to my house to do a podcast.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Yeah, that's a little sketchy.
Yeah, and like, and we're like, dude, we got to branch out. Like, I want to have guests. I don't want to just talk to my brother. Like, when me and my brother would do episodes, they would be good, but I'm like, I want to branch out. And I'm like, I'm not doing this in my fucking kid's bedroom, you know? And then we ended up buying a house in Waterford. So we're like, all right, well, we're really not going to have people here.
Wandering in and out of,
Yeah, it's just, it just wasn't realistic. So we came to the Hatchery Co. And like just because her friend worked at the old location.
Okay.
And we're like, yeah, let's go to the Hatchery Co. and check it out. And you know, it's just like all the stores that are in the village, like all these like, you know,
you can buy this there.
The mom and pop.
Okay, well, nice. Handmade by somebody's grandmother.
Hell yeah. But like you know, all the stores that are down in the village where it's like all these like knickknacks and shit that you can buy. It's like a similar store to that. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's go check it out. Why not? And then I walk in and it's like filled with cool like local art. I'm like, this place is cool. But as we wandered around, we realized like half this building was office spaces that were available. And we're like, dude, what if we get serious about the studio all of a sudden? And here it is.
Here we are.
Here it is, and we're on our we're in our second studio.
We're in it. Yeah,
we're in our second studio.
No, that's
here.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've tossed around the idea of doing a pod, but it's like, you know, where do I do it? Where I'm, I mean, there's nothing in Holly where you can get any kind of just a little office space or whatever. And even Fenton's they've got like a couple, they've got 2 places that have, I think one actually has like a podcast studio in it, and you can go through and you can rent it. But
the coffee, there's a coffee place.
The coffee place is the other one. So that's like a regular coffee, whatever. And then they've got like rooms for like board meetings, you know, you can rent, and then there's like I think the podcast stuff and stuff like that. But man, to go through and like pay for what they want for like to go do an episode or whatever the time that you're paying, it's like by the time you just get your own stuff and get a place to rent, you know, per month or whatever, it's cheaper than trying to go through and one-off them.
Oh, for sure. I've seen that's like a new thing where people are building these podcast studios that are just generic looking, and then they're like, oh, like, you know, $175 an episode or whatever, and it's like, who the fuck can afford that when they're trying to start?
I mean, especially like when you're starting out, you're gonna have to do it. I mean, and bank a certain amount of episodes before you even release any of them. You know, and it's like you got a lot of time before you're ever gonna, ever, you know, recoup money out of it. I mean, you're praying for it.
Dude, we're at
us
hundreds and hundreds of dollars of loss right now.
Sure.
You know, and we're doing like fairly well as far as our local small podcast.
Right.
You know, and we're losing money big time. Like I'm doing this out of like a passion project. Yeah. You know, like thank God I have, you know, like we're in a position where we have some disposable income and we can kind of chase dreams while we work our regular jobs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But most people, especially art types, creative types, are not in that position. They're not in the unique position of having disposable income.
No, they
while
usually
chase the
can't
dream.
have a job because they're scatterbrains and can't show up on time or sober or whatever.
Right.
Just can't listen to anything.
Oh,
so,
dude,
yeah.
that's the hardest part about. So I've been playing drums my whole life, and that is the hardest part of having a band is dealing with all of the fucking drunk, druggy morons that want to be in the same world, and you're like, dude, we had a schedule.
Yeah.
Oh man, my bad. It's just I fucking bad, and then it's like the most unaccountable bullshit for why you didn't show up on time.
Finding the bandmates, being able to keep the bandmates. I mean, getting along. It is so difficult. It is so hard. And, I've been in a few bands or whatever. And, it's just you basically have 5 wives or 5 girlfriends, and it's like these other people that you're just dealing with. And it's just a nonstop.
And you don't even get to bang them most of the time.
Most of the time.
I mean, it depends how drunk some of those nights get, and things get crazy.
Me and Matt saw each other's dicks. So we were in a band. It's not gay.
No.
It's fine.
No, yeah.
It's not gay if you're in a band together.
Yeah.
No, at that point, it's just, rehearsing,
So-
it's
Team building.
throwing ideas across, see what sticks, Yeah.
What a visual. Throwing things and getting them sticky. Dude, so you said you've been playing music your whole life. What do you play?
I play guitar.
Right on.
I play guitar.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Less now,
Yeah.
because I have this crazy comedy addiction.
Yeah.
That's like, it's totally like taken over.
Yeah.
Everything. But I played in a long time. I lived in California for a little bit and kind of started playing out there. I didn't even start playing guitar until I was probably like 19 or something like that, and started playing. And played with some guys out there, came back here, and then it was more or less the same band, just with different iterations of people coming in and out, you know, and for some reason you just start changing names and it's like, we're playing like the same stuff we, either wrote or whatever, like, why do we keep changing the goddamn name? Well, that's just another one.
Oh, dude, we did. Me and my brother were mostly in bands together.
Yeah.
And we had like 15 names. Like we can't even find half of our music because like, what the fuck was it called when we had that song Willow? I don't know. Was it Intra? Was it Shoot to Kill? Was it High Vis? Was it Woodshed Experiment? Was it Goat Scroat? Was it like we had so many stupid fucking names, and then it's like now that stuff is just lost to the ether. Like it's on somebody's MySpace page from 2005. They're like, we're never gonna find this shit again.
You gotta know the MySpace URL.
Yeah, well, I do. It was myspace.com/thematmat, and I can't get into it. I can't get because I can't get.
Did you have it private?
I don't know. I don't think so. I definitely lied about my age when I had.
You can
MySpace.
definitely still see my MySpace.
Was there an age restriction on MySpace?
Was there?
There was?
I think so because I put that I was older than I was.
I don't remember. I did it. The only reason I had a MySpace account was because I was working at a radio station. And I had to, because I was on air. So they made you have one because they thought it was,
I mean,
important to have.
How ahead of the time, huh? Though, like you think about it, like how like huge social media is for businesses now.
You know what's so crazy is like at that time, I was doing.
Don't judge me. My feet hurt.
I was at the machine shop in Flint, like every weekend for every show, working at the radio station. You're constantly there. And this is, so this is 2005, 2000 through 2008, something like that. And I remember bands talking about setting up podcasts then, and people would be like, oh, we want to have you on our podcast talking to like these other band members. And they're like, what the hell's a No, I don't want anything to do with. You want me to go sit in a closet with you and talk? Like, no, what are you talking about?
Right? No one wants to listen to talk radio.
Yeah, it's so funny how many people like almost were right there, at the forefront of it, and then we're just, whatever, gave up on it. But I was at the radio station, the tail end of when radio mattered, or where you could actually have a job, that made decent money. But it was weird. I don't know. the whole radio thing was, I mean, it's so like similar to this type of stuff, except for all the restrictions, obviously, like how you're talking, you got to pump in the music or all that stuff. And I was on late nights, so I could get away with a little bit more, because for the most part, the station manager, he's not listening all day long to the radio station. I was on from like 7 o'clock till 11. So once it got past 9 o'clock, I was like, oh, okay, now we can like push it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I can like talk a stripper into coming in and doing like an interview that I'm not asking permission for, or like other band people to come in and talk to them and stuff like that. But yeah, I eventually was asked to resign. Only because
You brought strippers on without
no,
asking?
actually no.
No, it was him having them sit on Sybians that got him fired.
No, well, I don't want to. You see, that's the thing. That's hack. I'd be stealing Stern stuff, dude. I didn't want to do that. No, I got in trouble. I got in trouble because this is like in the weeds a little bit, but like a lot of people on the radio, when you hear them for like the morning drive guys to the guys that are on until like 11 o'clock at night, those are all what they considered full-time radio people, right? And so when you hear someone from like 11 o'clock at night until 6 in the morning, till 6 in the morning, that's all pre-recorded. Okay. So like those people that are on, they just get like, they're paying you an hour to go in and record because the music's not in there, the commercials aren't in there, so you can knock it out real quick. And so full-time people, you'd get a salary and you'd get, health insurance and all that stuff and could actually have a career in radio. This is the very end of that being a possibility. Yeah. But so I was there for a few years, and the station manager did not care for me. He did not like it because I got the job there off of a contest. And he didn't think I deserved it. He didn't like me, whatever. And then one night I just started bitching on the air about how I was only getting minimum wage. And then people started calling in. They're like, you only get minimum wage for being, because I had besides like the Bob and Tom show in the morning, I had the second longest shift on the radio, and I was getting number one at night. So it was like, why am I getting $7 an hour? This is how long ago it was. $7 an hour was the minimum. But, I was getting $7 an hour. I'm like, this is insane, Yeah. And, all of a sudden he just walked in the door and he's like, you're going to go ahead and cut out early on this shift. And I was like, I'll never see you again. All right, bud. Yeah. But, it's radio is such a weird thing, or at least it was then, like you don't get jack shit, but they expect you to drop everything at the drop of a dime to do whatever they ask, and if anything was like conflicting, I had to have a regular job during the day. Like, you can't live off minimum wage for 4 hours a night, it was crazy. Right. So I had a regular job, and he would give me like remotes and stuff where we would go to like a tire shop to, do some tire sale thing, and I had to sit there and promote, and he'd always put it in like the middle of the day, so that I would have to get out of my other job, like making it super difficult for me to keep the regular job. Yeah. And it was just a real pain in the ass.
That's crazy.
But it was without a doubt probably the funnest job I ever had. I won it by getting garbage dumped on me, then dressing as a woman and stripping at a strip club. So that's how I got an unpaid internship, and I was there for a year not getting anything, doing all kinds of stuff.
Fucking hilarious.
Oh, it was.
God, now you have me like flashing back to all the random contests that used to go on. Like my uncle did like a Britney Spears lookalike contest for, I think, Mojo in the Morning.
Probably,
like
sounds about right.
Yeah. But and then my mom was they did a Mustang giveaway. That was probably also Mojo in the Morning, but they did a Mustang
they still
giveaway
do it
at Dave and Buster's. So we had to go to Dave and Buster's, and they like mail you a key, and they mail you like a fake key, and then you have to go in and like pick your actual key, and you go and try to start the Mustang. So like she was the last person before the winner. She gets in the car. She turns on nothing. Dang it. She gets out. The next person gets in. Ooh, that 5.0 V8 lights up, and she's like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" Yeah. Like, what are you? And then she went out and bought her own because she's a gangster. But, dude, that's
radio used to. They would do anything. It's the same thing as social media. They would do anything that they could to get your attention. It's easy. It's just nothing different than all that stuff now. But it's like they actually had money So
Yeah.
the contest sometimes would be worth listening to, and they would get pretty ridiculous with some of the stuff. But yeah, all of them like ripped off. Like the contest that I was in was like there was the show The Apprentice, right, with Trump, So they did The Accomplice, which was literally the exact same thing. There's 10 of us, and we all competed to be the intern or their third co-host or whatever it was. But we were never on air or anything. We were just literally grabbing them booze or cigarettes and just doing whatever trash work they didn't want to do. So,
Yeah.
But
Dude.
yeah, it was wild. But it was fun.
It's like I'm trying to put myself there. Like if I was I'm a young guy, I get this. Oh, dude, I won this contest. I'm on the fucking station now. And then you think dude, it's about to happen.
Oh yeah,
it's about to be huge. I'm about to be the next fucking Drew and Mike. And then you're doing bullshit in the middle of the night.
Well, so when I did the internship for a year, and I was totally fine with that. I was like, hey, I'm paying my dues, whatever, cool. And I started, here and there they would I was on the Eric and Carson show, so there's two guys. And so if one of them was sick or whatever, I would be the other guy on the show eventually. So that was cool. You go on there, you get the experience. And then, eventually it was like doing the overnight stuff where you record, and I'd be the guy on in the weekends and overnight and stuff like that. And that was cool. But once the Eric and Carson show, they got rid of Bob and Tom, and they went to the mornings, and I got the night show. That's when I thought
this is it.
This is what's up. And I really wasn't supposed to get that job. So again, that station manager, he did not like me. And when they take in applications, they're taking it from all over the country, for radio people. And I was like, whatever, I'm just going to submit a tape and see what happens. So submitted it. And, a couple people listened to it, and they're, it's good, blah, blah, blah. No way he was going to hire me. Luckily, someone gave the tape to the owner of the station.
Okay.
And she really liked it. She really liked me. No clue why, but whatever. And she told him to hire me. And so then he had to hire
his
me.
hands are
Because
tied.
the owner.
And it got worse from there because he didn't like me when I won the contest either.
Oh, man.
He had this dude.
You look like a guy that fucked his wife or something.
Well, he had this boy toy, but it wasn't a boy toy. It was like his own intern because he was also on air.
Okay.
But he was the station manager, but he was also on air. And he had this intern, and he brought him in. And the guy I'm talking about was a gay man. So, but he had this intern who I don't think was gay. He was a younger guy, whatever. He was nice, but he was really trying to push him through, and he was getting, the pushback from all the other people at the station. The kid just wasn't, and he was all right. He was good, but he wasn't super entertaining. He was a good radio guy that was just hosting a show that's just there to play the
Going
music
through the
and stuff.
motions
Yeah.
kind of deal.
So he was good with that and everything, but yeah, he kept trying to push him through. And when he wouldn't, I would get the push from somewhere else that was out of his control. And yeah, he just didn't. He wasn't going for it. So he just, I don't know. Yeah, he just did not like me. And then what was funny is, so the night that, you can say I quit because I knew I was going to not be welcome back, but quit or fired, whatever. Literally, probably a week or so after that, someone else bought the radio station and fired everyone on the radio station except for one guy. And the one guy, I saw him and he's like, you were the only other person besides me they were going to keep.
Holy shit.
I was like, God damn it. Can I
Did
try to get the job back?
You start making phone calls dude, I'm down.
No. At that point, I had started my own little side business and,
Right on.
I was just like, yeah, it's cool. But I could see the podcasting and the radio dying. And it was just, I knew it was, even then, people that were making huge money, Drew and Mike and all those guys,
Dave
they
and
were
Chuck.
getting pulled back and they were making less money. And you could see it was just kind of dying out.
Yeah.
So
I can't, it still shocks me. I'm a pipe fitter by trade. So bunch of shitheel tradesmen on the job every day. It still surprised me when someone's like, hey, did you listen to Dave and Chuck? I'm like, why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah.
No offense to those guys, but Why would I do that when I can listen to a podcast of like things I'm actually interested in?
I listen to the radio every morning.
Do you?
She's and also look at her sweater. She's 104 years
Well,
old.
that's true. Meemaw's got your lion sweater made up for you. But yeah, every once in a great while, I will, just because, sometimes you get into, you like what you like. So you put on like the music and all of a sudden you're listening to the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
Podcasts, you listen to. So every once in a while, I'll
palate
do it just
cleanser.
but then I'm like, wow, this is way worse. And then go right back
Oh,
to
yeah, for sure.
the music
when
and podcasts.
when there's music playing, I don't usually listen to it, but I'll listen to like
You're like,
the
what?
little
I want to hear
segments of
something
them
about
talking.
Al Sarah selling cars.
Right,
That's what I want to
exactly.
hear.
Should be driving a Kia. So you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my
Zach
head for a
Ford and
week.
Holly.
Yeah.
I get that one.
Dude. So
Doesn't
we
matter.
were listening to it this morning, and our youngest goes, this does not sound like Mojo in the morning. And I was like, what do you mean? It's literally Mojo talking. And he's like, it sounds like they're talking about if that guy's cheating on his wife.
It's like their main thing.
Because they do like a big segment on
Yeah.
finding
hilarious.
cheaters or whatever. I was like, yeah,
Jamie
that's
said
what they
that?
do. Yeah.
That's funny. Dude, so speaking of so you went from the radio to side business, and now you've got this obsession with comedy.
Yeah.
So when did the comedy start?
The end of next month will be 2 years.
Okay.
So I haven't been doing it super long. But yeah, I've loved stand up forever and always wanted to do it, but I always kind of looked at it like watching specials and watching all those, all the comics get up there. It's like being an astronaut or being, president. Like they're so good and they're so funny. And I was very naive about it. I didn't, and I don't know why I never did, but I never really looked into going to like comedy clubs or going to bars, comedy shows and stuff like that. Albums,
Yeah.
100%. Specials on TV, HBO and Cinemax and all that, Showtime, all that.
Right.
I'd watch that stuff nonstop, but I never really looked at going somewhere local. And didn't even, know about Ridley's and, and all that stuff.
Right.
So to me, it was just like, well, those people are like the select, ones that were picked out of who somehow they can just get up there and talk.
found it from the ether, and,
Yeah.
and who knows how they got there, but these guys are on Netflix or
it's
HBO
just-
or whatever now.
And I thought they were I always held comedians as, super intelligent, people that were, able to just, do this thing or whatever. And to me, I thought everything was spontaneous. That they got up there, someone handed them a microphone, and
they're just shooting the shit.
And they just talk for an hour, and that's what comes out. I was so stupid about it. But yeah, so whatever, just loved it forever, blah, blah, blah. And then my wife, she was the one that really encouraged me to do it, which I'm pretty sure she regrets that at this point. But but yeah, she was the one that was just like, you should do it. You should do it. You should do it. And it took me a while. Like I would go to open mics and I would watch and I'd be like, man, these people are so bad.
Oh, I'm
So bad.
I am in exactly this stage right now where I'm like flirting with it. But
Yeah.
by like getting a little.
If you're gonna
boost.
do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Just get up and do it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what you really like. Open mics, from what I've found, and you hear a ton of people say, open mics are not, which sounds crazy, they're not for you to go and get laughs.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah,
It's for you to
work
get
into
up
it.
on the stage and get comfortable sitting there by yourself, because it is a total different feeling than being in a band. There's no one else to be like, you missed that note, Dick.
Yeah.
Where's the chorus? There's no one to blame anything on. Like it
Yeah.
is you and solely you. So, which I like, because again, you don't have the four other,
Dipshits
girlfriends
to
in the
deal with.
band. Like you don't,
Yeah.
if something's fucked up, it's you and you know it, so you're the only one that did it and you're the only one that can fix it, so you have more control. Maybe I'm just a control freak. I don't know. That's probably what it is. But, but yeah. And so like going to these mics, I bet I probably went to a few over like a month, maybe 2 months. And was watching and would check it out. And I was like, man, I know I could do better. But it was just that thing. Like if I got up there and I couldn't do it, I think it would have just like crushed my soul.
Yeah.
So that's what scared me. I didn't really care about bombing in front of people, but it was like if I got up there and I didn't like, it's, something where if I didn't like it, if it didn't feel right, and like I just couldn't do it, it would have like crushed me. So that was like a
Yeah.
mental block that I had to definitely get over. And then, you know, you go and you just eat shit for a while, and that's just part of it. You know,
That's one of the conversations I've had with a buddy about, like, dude, I want to do it, but I don't know. And he's like, well, like, what's holding you back? And I'm like, because I've always been the funny guy. Like, I've pretty consistent. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I fucking like hanging out with Matt because he's just gonna talk shit all day. But like having that reputation in my mind and then going up and then just eating a plate of shit on stage, I'm just
You're
like,
going
dude,
to.
I can't. I don't know if I'll be so
mean-
crushed to be like, I've been wanting to do this my whole life.
Yeah.
And then I go up and I just can't make a fucking crowd laugh. Like, I'd be depressed as fuck.
It's so funny. You know, I went through and did. I've done a couple of the classes at Comedy Castle, and those are awesome. There's Bill Bouchard who does one class, and Joel Fragmenti who does the other class. So there's like a 101 class, and then there's advanced class. How many comics have you had on here? I don't know if anyone's talked about this before or not.
I've had Logan Monson and
Okay.
Mo Yancey was just on.
Okay.
So 2.
Yeah, only a couple.
So I don't know if either one of them have talked about the classes or anything before, but the classes are awesome. Bill's class, he's a working comic, and he's hilarious, and he's a great joke writer, and he's really good about like kind of walking through the process of like creating material with you, you know? And but when you get done with the class, there's a showcase, right? And so everyone gets to go up. They have a Wednesday
In front
night.
of their classmates.
Well, but people show up. People come
Oh.
to the showcases. Like, just, you know, obviously everyone who's in the class, their friends and family show up, you know, and that's the majority of the crowd. But there are like some random people who just go to the shows. And so it's a great crowd. Every comic gets a great response at that show. You will do the same material the next night somewhere and not get a single fucking laugh. You know what I mean?
Because
So it
everyone's a fan of the people doing it.
of the people, you know? So it's like you
Man.
kind of learn like different places where you go and a little bit know of, I'm going here. I know I should get laughs here because of material.
Yeah.
I'm going to go here because I know that I'm pretty good friends with most of these comics, and we're really just going to try to make each other laugh, which is definitely a thing. Not great for trying to build a career,
Yeah.
you know? And then, you know, go to
doing,
other
like-
places where you like, you know, you just know that you're going to get a greater response because of the room itself or something. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's like different things where you kind of,
Is that so? That's at Mark Ridley's. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that on? Is there only one stage at Mark Ridley's?
yeah.
Because that is a iconic Detroit room. Like,
That's like one of the best clubs in the nation.
I mean,
that's
yeah, that's what I'm
you know,
saying.
They
I mean,
get
like-
huge
yeah, they
people.
got,
that-
like
this
Mark
year,
Norman, Shane Gillis, fucking like all the huge guys
yeah.
right now are coming.
Norman's coming this year, which is crazy. Pete
Yeah.
Holmes is going to be there.
I
And like,
saw.
I mean, there's some really big people. Yanis Pappas was just there.
Yeah.
I mean, they get big names, but this year's lineup, like, there are some really big people on there. So I mean, they've got great shows. You
Yeah.
know? But that's like an A club. Well, I mean,
To get on that stage has got to be wild.
it's crazy. The worst show I've ever done was there. So when I did the class, I did the 101 class. Within the first 6 months that I started doing comedy, and I did the class, and in the middle of doing the class, there was something where they had to reschedule one of the days, and so they had to move the showcase. When they moved the showcase, I couldn't do it because I was out of town. So they have a thing, I don't know if you've ever seen it, they have the Detroit to LA contest. They do it every year. So Ridley's has this contest, and it starts in, I think maybe June, maybe. And they take comedians, and you go up, you do your set, you get judged by the crowd, and then judges from the Comedy Castle, and you move on around. Basically, you go all the way to February. In February, they have the finals where the winner gets flown out to LA, and you go and you do the Burbank Comedy Festival out there. So that's like the whole contest, and it goes for a while. But most of the people that are on there are comics that have been, you know, working around, and they, you know, have experience and stuff like that. So I did the class, couldn't go to the showcase. So Bill was like, well, I'm going to put you on one of the rounds the Detroit to LA. I'm like, whatever, it's stage time. I don't care. So I do the round, and I won the crowd vote. So then I moved on to the semifinals or whatever. Go to the semifinals. I'm one of the winners of the semifinals. So then I went to the actual finals, and and this is still less than a year of me doing it, right? And so I'm in the finals with all these people, and they're all like really good comics. And a couple days before the show, I won't say who it was, but I got up and I did my set in front of someone who's, very common in comedy, and gave me some advice. And I don't think he meant for me to take all of that advice in right then, but I did because I didn't know any better. So like my set, I changed everything.
Oh no.
2 or 3 days before the finals.
With no time to work it out.
No time to work it out. I didn't do any shows in between. And I was I like panicked.
Now you're in your head.
Because I got up and did it for these people, and this one guy is like just shit all over it, right?
Yeah.
And so I went into like a tailspin. And I'm like, oh my God, and one of the things was that, told me I was way too dirty. Too dirty. Okay. So I rewrote all this stuff, and I tried to like go from being having dirty stuff. I'm not super dirty, but I had dirty stuff. And then I tried to write an all clean set, which is
like, let me do an impersonation of Nate Bargatze real quick.
It is so much harder to write clean material than it is dirty material.
Oh yeah.
But, so I rewrote everything. I went up there, and for one, it was a packed room. This is almost 400 people. That you're in front of. Jesus. And they're like shoulder to shoulder, and they're like all excited. And I got up there. I wore different clothes. I tried to look more professional.
Changed everything about you.
Everything. I was so uncomfortable when I got it was doom.
You like threw on a suit. You're like, let me just.
I had a button-up shirt. I had dress shoes on. I have worn dress shoes only to funerals and my wedding. Yeah. And court. That's it. Those are the only places. So I just totally like changed who I was. And it sucked. Like I got up there. I forgot. I couldn't remember my stuff. I had a cue card that I made and put it in my pocket to remind me of stuff. I pulled that out and sat it on the chair. Looking at the card, I couldn't remember the material.
Oh no!
I went totally blank. I ate such a pile of shit.
Yeah.
And whatever. But and while I was standing up there, I'm like, get off stage. Just get the fuck off the stage. Go. And I was like, if I run off the stage before my time, I was like, then I'll never do this again. I'll never get up here again. So I stayed because they give you a light, and I stayed until the light came on. And as soon as that light popped on, I said into the mic, thank God the light's on. I turned around and I got off stage. And I got off stage, and I that fucked me up for a couple days. Like couldn't sleep, I got off stage. Plus it was the first show where I had like 30 some people.
Oh no!
Like friends, family. No one had seen me do it yet,
no.
and they're watching all these other people that are real good.
Dude, Garrett's fucking
great
terrible
comics.
at that, huh?
Oh man! it was. So I got off stage.
Oh my God!
Got off stage, and I texted my wife. I was like, "Meet me in the lobby right now
with rope."
And she came to the lobby, and we left. I didn't say anything to anyone. I was like, "Let's go now." I didn't watch the rest of the show. We just fucking left. And I had like a mini mental breakdown right there. I couldn't sleep for days. Like I was like, I'm never doing it again. I'm never getting on stage. I'm never trying to. And I finally came down, and then one of the people at Ridley's called me, and they were like, we want you to host a showcase show next week. So the following week I was back on the stage, and I was fine, but that was it couldn't have been the more detrimental thing to happen at that point for that contest, but it was an amazing lesson,
Yeah.
So it sucked to go up there and bomb like that, because also at that show, especially in the finals, even if you don't win, a lot of people that book shows around Michigan and even sometimes Ohio and other states, they come to see because they're like, who's the new people?
Yeah.
Who's good? So I'm thinking, I'm not going to get a gig anywhere after they just saw that. Like, I'm not going to get nothing. And I didn't for a while, but I just kept at it with the open mics and just to play like devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that being that early on in, and if you did do really well and you popped, do you think it would have been too early for
Yeah,
it?
100%.
You think you would have fucked yourself up? Because that might have been worse. Is like, hey, this guy thinks he's a fucking journeyman, and he gets out on stage and he's eating a bag of dicks, even though we booked him and he killed, a year ago or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where everyone eats it. Yeah. Everyone, even the Shane Gillis and even those guys, they have nights where they go out and they're just got it.
That was like a viral story as Theo Von eating shit like at his taping. And it was like, dude, I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, I apologize.
Yeah, and so you kind of have to not get over it, but not stress so much about worrying about that happening, because it's going to. It happens to everyone, and you just have to. It's so funny because when it comes to like comics and everything, when you get together with all your comedy buddies, like. No one talks about the good show you had. No one cares.
Oh, yeah. They want to shit on you.
Yeah, I heard you fucking ate it the other night. Let's talk about it, Oh, I heard someone,
dude, that's
cussed you out in the crowd.
That's
that's what it is.
Exactly how the trades are, too.
Yeah.
It's like, and we sit down and I'm like, I'm not going to talk about my triumph. Listen to this fucking x-ray I busted on my weld. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's like, but that's you make progress in those decisions, in those conversations.
The failures are what make you better. The shitty situations are what make you good. It's not when you go up and kill. I mean, I've had nights where I've been on stages and it's like, it didn't matter almost what I said.
They were just a good crowd in a mood.
They're a great crowd. And sometimes like there's this thing where it's like, they're almost in a trance. And so it's like because like music, there's a rhythm to doing comedy, so you start talking in a way and sometimes the crowd starts listening more to that rhythm than really the words that you're saying.
And here's your cue to laugh. Boom.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. There would be a little pause, and they know the thing after the pause is where they're supposed to laugh. Yeah. And if they've liked the stuff at the beginning, they're going to laugh. And that's kind of those nights are great, and they're fun, and you feel like you're untouchable.
My buddy was just telling me,
what it is.
She's like, my buddy was just telling me, she goes, she's like, Dave Chappelle has like Pavloved us into laughing. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, the fucking bell. She's like, this motherfucker slaps his thigh with the mic every time it's time to laugh. Boom. Here's your cue to laugh. I'm like, he's one of the greatest of all time. She's like, yeah, but he does that shit every special now, like the last 3 specials in a row.
He's always done it. And it's I mean, ever since Killing Them Softly, that has been his thing. And you'll be at open mics and you'll see some people doing it.
Oh, they're doing the Dave Attell shit.
You see people do everything. You see the Shane Gillis people that are 2-handing the mic and they're doing this stuff, and they're standing their hand behind the back, which is kind of a Nate Bargatze thing too. And but I mean, that's part of it, is when you start
imitation.
out, you imitate what you like, and then hopefully over time. I mean, I know that there's still stuff that I do where it's like, if I'm writing something out or I'm going to do a bit, I kind of have someone else's voice in your head, and that's not what you want. You want it to just be, yourself and just be totally genuine. But there is that learning thing where you got to figure out who you are up there, and I definitely don't totally know who I am up there. Some people will call it your stage character, or call it your whatever, but it's something you kind of do.
It's an interesting thing, right? Like you have to find a middle ground between like what you think you are and what people perceive you as, and then go like, okay, where can I like create my caricature there somewhere in the middle.
No matter what, there's like a persona.
Yeah.
You are like, and maybe and really, I guess what like the best thing would be, is you hear, pro comics and you want to be yourself and just like a heightened version of it, So, but there are definitely some people that they have, it's like a character. It's like a totally separate person, and when they're off stage, they're nothing like that.
It's a little weird though, isn't it? Like
it is.
I like the art form, but also it's like the whole like the Dice Man thing. It's like, and then he became Andrew Dice Clay. What was he? Silverstein. Andrew Silverstein became the Dice Man. Yeah. This character that he created.
Yeah,
and there's a couple of local guys where
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah,
that dude's name's Dan. I think Dan something. Yeah, and he's from Nebraska.
Right.
So I mean, there's
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Larry's name.
I mean, there's local guys that are like doing a full-on character that I'm like, there's no fucking way that's who that person is. But I like it. You know exactly
I know who you're
what I'm
talking about.
There's like no way that person is anything like that in their private life. But like the character is such a unique character. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of here for it though. You know?
Yeah. There are. I mean, it's it's a tough thing, and there's no that's right or this is right or that's wrong or anything like that. I mean, there's so many different kinds of comedians. There's so many different kinds of comedy, and you see, everyone kind of run the gambit with it. And you kind of go, it's even like regional too. I mean, you go to I live in Holly. So for most open mics or anything like that, I'm an hour.
I was going to say, where are you going?
There's at Taylor's Tavern, they do open mics, don't they?
Where's Taylor's Tavern?
It's the one that was on Bar Rescue. It was Backroads.
Oh, they never did an open mic. They would have shows every now and again.
Yeah, and they do like karaoke.
Like River Rock has shows.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of, actually.
But Taylor's Tavern did have some.
Okay.
They did have some. I don't even know if that place is still open.
It wouldn't surprise me. We went there and people were like, the wait staff was like,
not paying it.
Like that we were there.
Yeah.
After the bar
Yes.
rescue.
It was literally like fucking karaoke night. And we're like, hey, hello?
There was like 5 other people in
And
there.
they're like, what do you...
We went...
the lights were off and shit. I was like, what the fuck is this place?
We went a little bit before it happened. And...
Can you have me another beer?
And the grill guy was the owner, and I ordered a burger. And there was no one in there, and it's me and the wife and kids. And this dude was so pumped about this hamburger that he made me, right? And he's like, oh man, you're gonna love this burger, blah 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 blah. It's whatever. He's just talking this thing. He brings me like a fucking 10-inch tall hamburger with like 4 patties on it, and it was just like, it was this like the bottom bun was it was soup. It was so gross, and I was like, what is this?
He's probably like, we gotta get rid of these patties.
Oh, he was so excited. Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. So when the bar rescue thing happened, I thought, oh, that's cool. Yeah. But they did it in the wrong spot, man. You're in Holly, Michigan. You're not selling a $25 hamburger.
No.
It's insane.
Well, you go down the road to the brewery, they will.
Well,
but that place is good.
But that's also not the original owner. That place has changed hands.
Yeah,
I knew the original owner of that place.
Oh, right on.
He was actually my landlord for a while. Yeah, but
that place is good though. It's just
expensive.
Like, it's expensive. Like,
but every place is now. Getting more and more. But yeah. So as far as like open mics, just open mics. I mean, it's like, I'm going to Detroit. I'm going to Ann Arbor. I'm going to Lansing. I've gone out to Grand Rapids. When I can do like 2 or 3 in a single night, I'm like, okay, I'll make the 2-hour drive if I can get 3 different stages
then you got
in a night.
45 minutes of stage time or whatever.
Yeah. Oh no! I mean, most mics
10 minutes.
You're lucky if you get 10. Most open mics are 5 minutes. 5 minutes of stage time. I do a bunch in Toledo.
Maybe I have a skewed idea of how long it is because some of them were so brutal. It felt like a fucking Scorsese movie where it's like, dude, fuck, is this 3 hours? Is this guy done yet?
Time is an illusion with some comedians for sure. Like if some people are up there and they're just killing, it's like instant. I mean, it's like a minute and you're like, oh my God, they were so good. And then you got someone who you're like, it's been a half an hour.
Yeah.
And it's been like, no, they still have 2 minutes left.
God
damn it.
Stop.
Yeah. And yeah, that's
you're doing one night stands tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm doing tomorrow.
Is that your first time going there?
No, I was there one other time. I've been booked on it a couple times, but when you go on, that's another thing that's crazy too, is so many open mics are really booked shows. Like the show up and just sign up and get up on stage doesn't happen all that often these days, it seems like. But anyway, one night stands, it's booked. And so they put out a form that you submit to, once a month or whatever. And I've been selected to be on it a few times, but then in between waiting to hear if you're on or not, I've gotten other shows and stuff like that. Yeah. So I've had to go through and move it. But
dude, I can only imagine like just booking this podcast. Like we're booked out till June.
Yeah.
And then I'll get a response to an email that I sent out like a month and a half ago, and they're like, "Yeah, we could do that date." I'm like, "Well, too fucking bad, dude. You're gonna get pushed to like August now."
Yeah. Well,
like, sorry, man.
One thing you will definitely find with working with more and more comedians is they'll probably cancel or reschedule more than musicians will. They're gonna be late, for the most part. They're just they're a wild group.
Yeah, but I like
people.
I like the chaos. I just feel like
as long as you like the chaos and you know that it's coming, then you're good. But
I had my backups in mind when I started booking comics. I'm like, all right, this guy's close, this girl's close. So I started messaging people when Peggy had to cancel. You fucking jerk.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's hosting tomorrow.
No, I asked her. She's not. She the normal guy is some fellow, Charles. I never heard that name till Peggy told me.
Charles is a good dude. He used to run a Tuesday mic out in Clinton Township. For a long time, and then the owner sold the bar, and the new bar owner had him do it for like a couple weeks, and then he ended it. Yeah. So, but I think he's starting another one in Livonia or something like that. But Charles is a good dude. He does quite a bit of shows. He's out there a lot. But it's. Have you guys have you watched any at one night stands?
Yeah.
You gone to them?
Yeah.
It's a good little room. Like, it'd be nice if it was on a big stage, but
I know it's funny when we were there, like I think 2 or 3 people were like, dude, this is a fucking cool basement they have us doing this in. Like,
that's what they are, though. I mean, to be honest, the best rooms for comedy are low ceiling, dark, small, where everyone's packed in together. Like, those end up being the best rooms.
Yeah.
You don't want a tall ceiling. You don't want a big room. You don't want like concrete walls. I did a show last year at the Dirty Show. Do you know what that is?
No.
You know what?
I've heard of it.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's an art show, right? It's all like exotic art.
Yeah.
Erotic. Sorry, not exotic.
Yeah,
although
erotic.
there is some exotic stuff, happening in there. But so it's erotic art, and I mean, people are walking around topless. I mean, there's walls of dildos. I've never been there.
Yeah.
Listen, it is.
Who the fuck am I marrying?
It is worth going. It is worth going. It's amazing.
And then she's trying to get me to buy this Jamie pop art that's on the wall at the Hatchery Co. with a fucking furry butt plug painted into some girl's ass on the wall down there.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I don't even know her anymore.
They probably got that from
there.
Yeah, and they're just like, let's just throw a couple extra bucks on it and sell it, reseller. But no, it's amazing. But they did a comedy show there last year, and it was in this room. It's this big like warehouse, and this art show's massive, and there's all these different rooms. I mean, there's like the one room with all the gay dudes that's called the daddy hole. There's like a room like of all just like comics, and it's all like just XXX comics, that are in there. And then there was this giant. Last year there was it wasn't like a bounce house, but it was like this giant tunnel thing that you would go through that the inside of it spun, but the outside of it was a giant vagina, and then you walked out its asshole. I mean, it's really something, and it's a great time. But they decided to do a comedy show last year, and so they had it in this one room, and it's just, I bet, 30-foot tall ceilings, and the whole room is cinder blocks, and then the ceiling's metal. The echo that was inside, you couldn't hear yourself while you were talking, doing stand-up, because the sound's just bouncing off the walls.
Timing is just getting all fucked up.
It was horrendous. Plus, I'll be honest, if you're at an erotic art show where nude people are all over the place, the last thing anyone's going to do is come in and sit down and listen to someone tell their sillies. Like, no one wants to hear a fucking joke. People would walk in, they would kind of like, sit there for 1 or 2 jokes maybe just to see what it's all about, and then when no one got naked on stage, they're like, what the fuck am I doing in here? And they would walk right out. I mean,
there's tits over there, and I'm looking at this fucking guy.
There was the door that was next to us. There was 2 doors, so people would always come in through one door, and then the other door was right next to the comedians, and the first thing out the door was a mechanical bull that was a giant dick. So they're looking at that thing, and you're trying to get them to pay attention to your jokes. It's like, this is pointless.
Just impossible.
So, it was impossible. It was a super fun show because it was so ridiculous. It was fun. But,
have you ever seen a stand-up? I saw a stand-up open up for a metal band, and I was like, why the fuck would they think this would work?
I've
like, we're waiting to see like fucking Lamb of God or something, and then there's just like, well, hey guys, I dropped my contact. It's like, dude, get off the fucking stage. Like, where's the band?
I've seen a couple bands live that had comics open for them. I've never seen a comic do well.
No, it's the worst idea ever.
I mean, that's another thing too, though, where I've heard, I've watched like interviews and stuff with comics, and they'll talk about that and saying how bad it was, but the experience was great because they knew that if they could get to a point to where they could get the crowd to listen to them, even if they weren't necessarily laughing at the jokes, but if they could keep their attention. That's a skill in itself. If you can get people to just listen to you, because a lot of people will think you're very funny and not laugh. Like I've had, every comics when they're on stage, if they're just crushing and everyone's laughing, and there's one fucking guy that has his arms crossed that's not laughing.
What's his problem?
He's the only guy that exists. Yeah. Like you can't think of anyone else. And
it's me.
Funny.
And I've done shows where afterwards I'm like, man, I could not get that dude, blah blah blah. And then he walks up and he's the one that gives you the biggest praise. Yeah. He's like, man, it was so fun. I was like, then fucking laugh. What do you mean, dude? You're driving me nuts up there.
Dude, I can't remember who the comedian was that I was listening, one of the comics that podcasts that I listened to, but one of them was like, I think he went out of the country, like maybe it was in England or Australia or something, but it was a foreign to him crowd, and he was like, what the fuck, I can't make a single person here laugh. And he's like, oh, they're just like super polite here, so they're just sitting there like enjoying the show but like staying quiet and polite. So he's thinking he's bombing the entire show. God, I wish I remembered whose story it was.
I've seen some of those too. Like some of them talk about doing a show and they're silent the entire show, and then as soon as they're done, it's like a standing roar. Ovation, and they're all clapping and everything. But they don't want to interrupt the show, which is like,
imagine.
God, that would be great sometimes here, because there's too many goddamn people that are in the crowd that think that they're going to be part of the show.
Oh my God.
And they just start fucking talking. Dude, and
we just saw a show at One Night Stands. Was it Rob Little?
Yeah.
Rob Little. So we saw Rob Little, and this fucking 20-year-old bimbo just in the corner. I got my boobs done. He's like, okay, is this story going to end with you showing us your tits? And she's like,
she's kept going.
Well,
would not stop.
My boyfriend went to go get a haircut while I was getting my tits done, and he's like, he's like, then he turns to the other half of the crowd. He's like, I'm just going to talk to you guys because this bitch thinks it's her show now. And it was, dude,
it's crazy.
He was doing good, recovering recouping. He's
a good comic, and he's been doing it forever, so he knows all the little tricks to kind of wrangle the people in.
He was earning points with the rest of the crowd by being like, this fucking bitch,
Oh yeah, and that's the only way to get out of it is to you don't want to be. I mean, I've never had like a super bad heckler who just was relentless. I've never had anyone that was pissed off at me or anything like that. I've never had someone who just absolutely would not be quiet. But I mean, I've had the people that they and it's funny because they're delusional and they think that they're making the show better. Yeah. They think that they're helping the situation. Right. It's especially with TikTok, all so many people put out the crowd work videos, and really, if you go to a lot of shows, there's really not that much crowd work.
Yeah.
People, audiences really don't want to be pinpointed. They don't want the attention on them, the majority of them.
Yeah.
But,
it can be uncomfortable. I mean, I'm a huge comedy nerd.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in the front row, and he called on us, and I said something, and I made him laugh.
Yeah.
And then, but I was in that moment, I was like, oh, fuck, please stop.
Yeah.
Please stop. I just want to observe,
Yeah.
But I made him laugh, though. I wasn't annoying the fuck out of him with my story about my boob job or whatever that broad was saying.
Well, definitely that's why if you go to a legit comedy club, they always have someone that's seating people, because if they didn't, no one would sit in the front row.
Oh yeah, they put us right in the front. I was like, oh great.
No one would take those seats ever. So they know they're gonna walk them up there and here's your table.
Or even worse, you get a full front row of those kind of bitches who want the attention, and that's got to be fucking way worse.
I did. What was? God, there was another. Was it a contest? I don't know. There's something else at Ridley's that I did, and there was these people. There's 4 people. These 2 couples that were right up front, sitting up against the rail, and one of the other comics on the show. It was their parents and their friends. And they were hammered. I mean, they were so fucked up. And the dude's mom was heckling every single comic except for her son. And excuse me. And so, I get up there and she starts talking, and I was like, and I didn't know it was their mom, and I'm like, why are you even here? Like, you seem to hate everyone. So and so's my son. And I was like, really? I was like, that is good to know, because all of the rest of us comics are going to have a chat with your son now afterwards. Hopefully the Comedy Castle's got some pillowcases and bars of soap.
Yeah, we're gonna beat the shit out of
them.
Son.
But I mean, it's just it's wild. Like, some of the people that get there. But I mean, for the majority of it, no one wants to be picked on. No one wants the comic to talk to them. They want to just be entertained and sit there and the darker the room in the crowd, the better. It's better for them. It's better for us. It's
the crowd can kind of sink into anonymity, or
that's what you want.
And then you allow the. I definitely said that word wrong, but
yeah, you did. But
It's fine. We know what you meant.
You're a drummer. All right, we get it.
but then also be able to like just allow the comic to think for you, and just like, let me take me on the ride.
They wanted to be guided through like you said, the ride. It's
how do you say that word? That's gonna drive me nuts.
Anonymity.
I'm an anemone. We're all becoming fucking Finding Nemo.
But yeah, like when the room's really dark too, and the people can't really see the other people, they don't get self-conscious about laughing at something.
Yeah.
So if someone's got like a dark joke that's pretty a little gnarly or something, if they can see everyone else and they can look at each other, they're not going to laugh. Compared to, you can have the same crowd, same person, and if it's real dark where they can't see the other people, they're going to laugh more because they feel more comfortable. Like, no one's like, the other people in the crowd aren't judging them.
Yeah.
That's all, everyone just thinks that everyone's judging them.
I laugh more if I'm in the front row, for sure.
Well,
because then you're kind of like looking around at everyone, like, how's everyone else reacting to this? Dude, the room at One Night Stands where we saw Little play and do his set, it was lit up like we were just. I mean, you could see everyone clear as day. Yeah. And I wonder if they had
the lights dimmed a little bit, but you could definitely
dimmed, but it wasn't like a movie theater. Like if it was like a movie theater where it's like, hey, you can just get out if you have to pee, but like barely. I think the experience would have been better.
Yeah,
I was cracking up at that one.
There's
3 good comics.
There was good
in a row,
ones,
but
I was also in the front
weird
row.
how much it get like I said, the more like a shoebox it is, and small and tight and dark, the better, but whatever, people, throw up clubs or shows and whatever building is there and available is kind of what you got, because anyone who's going to open a comedy club, they're not building, a new building and putting it in. It doesn't make that, it doesn't generate that kind of money just because how the business model is, they're only really open on the weekend, because if they do that's one thing that's tough about being in Michigan compared to, New York or LA or Austin or any of those, is all of their comedy clubs do open mics every single week. Yeah. Because they have the people to generate that'll come in, to where here they can't get enough people, everything's spread out more and there's not as many, people per capita. So, Ridley's does their open mics, but they only do, and it changes throughout the year depending on, winter is the busiest time for comedy. So like right now, I think they've got one in February that they're going to have. They didn't have any in January, so it's like they don't happen very often. And you got 12 people that all want to get on that stage. So it's like when they open it up, who knows how many people are trying to get on that show, and they're just randomly drawing and whoever gets on gets on. Man.
I think One Night Stands does it. Is it every other Thursday or
every other Thursday?
They do it twice a month. Yeah,
okay.
It's this. I think the second, fourth, or first and third, something like whatever. Yeah. But yeah, they do it twice a month. And then now the Ann Arbor Showcase, they do it every week. They got Wednesdays. They do theirs every week. And I submit to that thing all the time. I've only gotten on there twice, but Ann Arbor's pretty tight knit. Like a lot of those comics kind of all they stay around there.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of how it is anywhere. You know, you get all
You
these,
get like a core group.
yeah, you know, any of these cities, they kind of build, and which makes sense. You know, I mean, if I lived closer to one of those cities, yeah, I'm going to go to those shows more because they're close. You know, but that's one thing. I don't know if it's really helped me or hurt me because I don't have one thing with comedy is it can be cliquey. You know, you can get your areas and you can get, you know, people where they all hook together and they're all super close friends. Also my age, you know, like a lot of people are starting there in their early 20s, you know. And so that's kind of like, that's their thing. That's their social thing. So it's like all those people that are friends, you know, they start little open mic rooms or whatever, the first people they're going to put on is going to be their friends, you know. So they're kind of always giving their friends sometimes these opportunities, and sometimes it can be harder to get on some of those shows. But when it comes down to it, I mean, if you got material and you're funny, you know, it all just comes down to are you funny or not, you know. And as long as you can do a good job up there, then you can get on. But there's definitely, I feel like some places where it's harder for me to maybe get on some things just because I'm not there all the time. So it's like people don't know me as well.
Sure. Yeah.
On the flip side of that, I think that also helps because I don't ever really try to crack up the comics. You know what I mean? Because they're not like just my tight group of friends. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm going to all these different places and you do get different crowds of people. You know, you get different demographics and stuff. So to me, I'm like, well, if I can go to any of these places and my material works, then I know I got pretty good material to where, you know, there are some comics that I see where it's like they do really good in this city and that's the only place they're going to do good because their stuff doesn't connect with someone somewhere else, you know, because it's so specific to a thing or, you know, whatever it is. But, yeah. So I don't know. It's been kind of a, you know, a weird thing to navigate.
I wanted to ask you, so like, I want to pick your brain a little bit because
go for it. There's not much in there. Should be pretty easy pickings.
You got a lot, like an empty lot, a big old parking lot.
Yeah. Plenty of space. Plenty.
So no, so I don't know if I read it or maybe I probably heard it on a podcast. That writing, when you sit down to try to write comedy, you should write what's not funny, like just write about life. And then try to fill in funny things within it. Because I've sat down and tried to write just like a street joke. Sure. And I'm like, dude, this is just not my style. Like writing a street joke is not my style at all. I'm a storyteller. And so in general, like I haven't gone on stage. We talked about that earlier, but like if I go to the job, I'm like, dude, so listen to what happened last night. You know what I mean? And then I can make people laugh 80% of the time just telling what happened in my regular life. So I've been writing. I want to write fucking mountains of shit before I ever go on stage so that I don't panic and run out of things to talk about. Maybe that's the wrong way to go about it.
No, you should. I do think there are people who think that, I mean, as far as like I'm very fascinated by how people come up with material and how they figure it all out and everything. I can show you, I'm kind of a psychopath with it. But there's so many people that will either sit down, and I've heard that too, where you just write a real sentence, just a factual sentence. And then, you know, from there, okay, now how do I make it funny? Don't try to write something that's funny. Just try to write real stuff. But there's so many different ways that some people only really write on stage. You know, they have just this idea of something that they want to talk about, and they get up there and they just start talking about it, and they try to find the funny part about it. You know, you know, there's people that, you know, have notes and notes and notes on their phone, you know, and they're always putting stuff on their phone, you know, or a laptop or whatever. I handwrite. I can't. I'll put stuff in a computer. I'll put stuff in my phone if I can't write it down, you know. So like, I always think about stuff when I'm driving a lot, you know, because I think your brain kind of, for me, if I'm driving, then I'm concentrating on the road and I'm kind of not really thinking about anything, and so that subconscious weird stuff kind of pops up, you know, to where if you sit down, you're like, I have to write this funny thing about pickles right now. Right. Some people can do it. I can't.
No, that's that Seinfeld way of writing jokes. Yeah. I don't connect with that at all.
There's some things I do take from him as far as like you should I do agree with you should write every day. And I'm not good at doing it every single day, but I write at least something pretty often, like almost every day. Get an idea out, something. And writing doesn't necessarily mean writing a joke. I mean, you could just sit down and journal. There's a lot of people that journal. I think when you do that, you like maybe that's how you find your voice more. You know what I mean? Because if you're just journaling about life, and then you can be like, okay, well, this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now what's actually reading it after the fact, a day later, 2 days later, a week later, what's actually funny in here?
Yeah.
And then you pull just those, and it's probably only a sentence or two, or maybe even a phrase in a whole page of shit you wrote down.
Right, right.
But that's what that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of, like, even when you get up and the people that work it out on stage, they keep doing that thing on stage, and they're just trying to whittle it and make it shorter and make it tighter and make it shorter and make it tighter. So,
the economy of words thing that Seinfeld talks about, I do appreciate
100%,
because there are some long-winded motherfuckers who are like, dude, this was like a one-sentence joke, and it took you 5 minutes to get there.
I do not like long setups.
Yeah,
I'm pretty. So my goal, like the way I look at it, I try to put a laugh in every 12 seconds. That's like what I want. And if I don't do that, I'm very disappointed. So that's just, and there are people that are like a laughs per minute, people that write specifically like that. And I think I will get away from that at some point and not really care as much.
Yeah.
If the jokes are stronger or whatever, but like right now, I just want to know that I can go up there and people will consistently laugh.
There's so many different schools of thought. I've heard like Louis C.K. talk about, like, I love creating the tension where people want to laugh so bad, but you're not letting them. You're talking
also about
like
Louis C.K., one of the greatest comics of all time. Like
one of the greatest of all time.
He says he never writes anything down. He's like, I don't ever write anything down. So
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that comes up with an idea and just gets up on stage. And he's always said that, he's like, the crowd is really what kind of is writing it. And I do agree with that. Like, when you have your jokes, like, you have to use the crowd to write with it. Like, they're going to tell you what's funny and what's not.
That's why I'm so interested in this craft. Like, you sit down and write a song, it is that song no matter the reaction to it.
Yeah.
But like, you go up and write a joke, and you go up and try to perform that joke, and you're like, oh, well, I got to laugh there. That's weird. I didn't even think that part was funny.
Yeah.
Or, whatever. This is where I was like, oh, and I'm gonna write in a pause for applause, and then people don't give a fuck about what you just said.
Absolutely.
And you're like, oh, shit.
Absolutely. And there's no, that's the thing too, is as a musician, you can sit in your bedroom and work to get your 10,000 hours, to become a master at anything, 10,000 hours,
Yeah.
You can sit in your bedroom and play for 8 hours straight. You can't sit in a room and tell comedy to the wall for 8 hours straight. It'll make you memorize the stuff, but talking in front of people, like, you deliver different if you're in front of people or you're by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You speak at a different speed. You speak at a different cadence.
This is what I've been doing to her. Like,
He reads his stuff to me.
No, okay. I've heard someone describe certain guys when they do stand up, they do it with dance moves. That's the way I've heard it described. Like, if you yell it, if you
I would
act
love to
it
see
out,
someone go do one-liners doing like the moonwalk.
not actual dance moves, but like they're like calling it dance moves where it's like, hey, if I'm going to scream this, it's going to make people laugh because getting screamed at's uncomfortable, and it can evoke an emotion. So so I read it to her like I'm reading a eulogy. Like, I'll write something and I'll read it like a eulogy, and I'm like, and then I just see what her reaction is.
I just watched something about this, and it was from an agent, actually, a comedy agent, and he's like, if you've got some stuff and you want to get a true reaction without being able to be in front of a crowd or whatever, type it out on a computer on a piece of paper, and just randomly go to someone you don't know. Be like, hey, can you read this? And just, let me know what you think, if any of it's funny. Let them read it, and you just watch their face and see how they react to it. If they chuckle to themselves, that's a good one. All right, keep that one. If they just straight-lace right through it, all right, well, that one ain't.
Right on. So I'm on to something that's
You're on to something.
Here.
You're right there.
Because I don't want to.
You're also going to be biased, though.
When he reads it, it's like stuff that I know has caused trauma in his life. So then when
also-
he's
That's
reading it,
what comedy is.
I know,
That is
but then when he's
what all
reading
of
it
is.
like he's sad, I'm like, am I supposed to laugh?
See, but that's the thing is I'm trying to.
I'm
not
like, you
sell
gotta-
it. Like I don't want to. I don't want to sell it because I feel like I'm
Well-
gonna short.
But then I have to think, like, if somebody was on stage doing this, I would probably laugh at that.
And you
yeah,
have to,
but
you have to a little bit like. That's why I think what he was saying about putting it on a piece of paper is good, is because
Then it's
people
their internal
reading
voice.
it, yeah, they're pacing it how they picture to pace it.
Yeah.
Because comedy is selling. You have to sell it.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. Whatever it is, you're trying to sell it. You're trying to convince these people that, hey, I'm funny. Listen to what I have to say.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to do stand-ups, insane that
Psychotic
you think you have
in every way.
that you have, like, you know, the right to sit in front of a room of strangers and be like, listen to me right now, because
Right.
you're gonna love this shit.
Yeah.
And then you tell 45 minutes of dick jokes and they're like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay,
This guy's
fair
been 14 for 25 years. This guy sucks.
yeah. So yeah, it's just it's a weird, it's crazy. It's a weird thing. Yeah.
So okay, so talking about writing, you
Yeah.
were saying like you have these moments where your brain is almost like shutting off. You're not paying attention to the music you're driving to or whatever. I have had that moment like right before I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Like I've like been falling asleep, like oh fuck, and I like pop up and I write something.
Yeah.
Maybe not even a joke, but like
I
have
love
a
that,
premise.
and I also hate it because as soon as I do it, there's no way I'm going back.
Then
to
you're
sleep.
energized and
then
you're
all of a
like,
sudden,
all right, I gotta type
I'm-
1,000 words.
I'm manifesting about this
Yeah.
whatever stupid thing they think of. Yeah, I write because I got two little kids. Well, you guys got kids. I got two kids too, so I can't do anything until like 10 o'clock at night, you know? And it's like, sometimes it's like, man, I don't, you know, to muster up energy, and then your kind of brain is smoked at that point. So
Yeah.
it's like, are you really going to come up with something super witty, super good? But I do think there's something with like when you're just kind of starting to fall asleep and your brain's drifting in and out of, you know, dreaming or whatever, you get like these weird ideas where maybe things you wouldn't normally think of would kind of click. But
It's that
yeah,
thing they
I
call
mean-
like the muse or whatever. It's like some of the like with music, with writing, not comedy, but like with writing in general.
Yeah.
Like some of the best premises that I've ever come up with has been like, "Fuck, all right,"
Yeah.
and then I'm like, and then I'm off, and then I'm like, you know, what are you doing? It's 3 a.m. I fucking just leave it
I've
on,
had
you know, and-
I've had days where I've done that. I've gotten up at all of a sudden, almost asleep, woke up, idea, wrote until like 2 a.m, right?
Yeah.
Put it away. Then the next day, pull it out, and I'm like, this is all hot trash. Like that, you know what I mean? But you have this
Yeah.
thing where that I do think this is something I try to do is write out whatever it is that I'm trying to write out and then walk away from it, you know, and then come back and look at it and be like, all right, is there really, because you're always, when you come up with a new idea, you're excited about it. You know,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is going to,
that's hilarious.
I'm about to sell out Madison Square Garden. And, you know, you come up with these ideas, but then the next day or a couple days, you might look at it and be like,
yeah.
this is, or you could look at it and be like, I think someone else did this. And I just like,
Parallel thinking,
yeah,
or
you know,
totally
you're
ripped
like,
off. A
this is too
premise
close to whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a, I forget who was talking about it, but you have to be able to be the artist, and then you also have to be an unbiased editor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that's a hard thing to do.
I got a premise I want to talk to you about off mic, but
Okay, all right.
I'm writing it down so I don't forget. Dude, there's almost like a metaphor in like, you know how like food, like leftovers are almost better because like chili's always better the next day. Like,
100%.
like all the flavors kind of melded
Yeah,
in
it soaks
there.
in there. Yeah.
So like
Oh, yeah,
you write
saturated.
Yeah, and then you like write something and then you're like, oh dude, that's gonna be so good. And then you let it settle and you're like, oh fuck, that ain't good.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
shit. All right,
Yeah.
fuck. I thought there was something there. There's not something there.
Yeah,
Or
there-
sometimes there is something there and you're like, and it can just branch off in a million different directions, and you got to let the muse tell you what to do.
Yeah,
next,
I mean
you
that's
know?
and that's the thing too. Like when you're doing stuff at an open mic in front of, you know, people, like I've had things where I had something in a little bit that I wrote, and it was supposed to be just kind of like a pass through line. Like it was just something for me to get from here to tell this other thing, and that pass line was the thing that they always laughed at. So then it's like, oh, and you have to drop this other thing and kind of move it in a different direction. And you never even thought about doing that until you kept noticing it, like, oh, that's what they think's funny, you know? Because there's a couple jokes that I have, and I hate them. I don't like them, but they work every time.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
What a weird feeling.
And so it's not that I think that they're bad. You just kind of you almost, and I feel like Chappelle's kind of really dug this in, is, you know, this thing where you don't want to go up there and try to be a prophet, you know, like to go up there and give people, you know, there's definitely comics that have their opinions and their views, and they want to show you their view and their thing, and they're maybe trying to convince you of something or trying to show you something or whatever, you know. I do not care about.
You don't want to be
Tig
Notaro?
Dude, not even. I mean, but it's like, I like it when you just get up there and it's just silly, goofy bullshit and whatever. And I don't even care. Like, I'm not looking for anyone to remember what my jokes are either. You know what I mean? Sam Talent. You know who Sam Talent is? I think he's like the best working comic right now. I mean, he just crushes. He's so funny to me. I love his style of comedy. He's a super smart guy, but he just like fires them off, and they're just like boom, 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 boom. You know, he's got just crushes. And I heard him say, he's like, I do not care if anyone ever remembers a single joke.
That's how I feel.
He's like, I want them to go to the comedy club, laugh uncontrollably the whole time, and then get up and be like, what the fuck just happened, and be done with it, you know. And be like, it was the greatest time ever. Oh, what were one of his jokes? No clue. Couldn't tell you.
See, I have conflicting ideas about this, because Ryan Long is just like that. He just fires them off, and every single thing he says is hysterical. But when I'm watching him is over, I'm like, I didn't learn a single thing about him.
No.
I'm like, and I feel like I kind of missed something there. I'm like, man, I kind of like, I wish I knew more about him.
I think he's a guy that's definitely like a persona on stage, like kind of a character.
Oh, for sure.
Stage,
he's playing a caricature of like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's like the asshole uncle who's like an adult but not grown up yet.
Right.
And I think he likes that character. But yeah, like I really love his writing. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know anything about him because he doesn't.
No,
there's
no real life person. Well, like Mark Norman, you don't really know anything about
nothing.
Mark
I don't
Norman,
know a fucking thing about Mark.
Or Sam Morril. You know, they're just straight up joke writers, which I love that, and I've tried to go, but I can't write in like one-liners. I can't. No. I'm a storyteller, you know, like you saying you are, you know. But I do like write stuff out and make sure that everything. At least I try. Everything that I'm going to say is going to lead to a laugh, not lead you through a story.
Yeah.
Basically, I have a story that I want to tell, and I'm trying to take the story and break it into one-liners without writing actual, you know, traditional
not actual
one-liner shit, you know.
And I can't, dude, I got to be honest, like as much of a comedy nerd as I am, I cannot stand non sequiturs. I feel like in a way, they're kind of lazy. Like I love Mitch Hedberg's writing.
I think that's the hardest.
For sure.
To remember it and to keep the flow of it going and know that nothing can carry really momentum into the next thing. Yeah. You know, I mean, like Jeselnik, right?
Yeah.
I think he's one of the greatest comics ever. You know, he's a one-trick pony, you know, but he's the best at that trick. Yeah. You know, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, you know, for him to do an hour, you know, he's got to write 3 times the amount of jokes that, you know, Bert Kreischer writes. Probably 5 times the amount of jokes. I mean, Bert's
right.
Bert's pretty long-winded, but
Bert tells like 3 long stories within an hour.
Yeah, but he's so animated. You know, like there's those guys too. Dude, you know, some people are like, I feel like are more of a show than more of just like a straight comic. Like I whatever. I don't think Chappelle's newest special should be called a comedy special.
No,
I think it's a stand-up speaking performance.
Yeah,
like
it's like a TED Talk for like someone.
I mean, it's good and it's got its funny parts, but I mean, the Killing Them Softly to, you know, the newest one, is such a drastic change. And he's a smart dude. He's one of the greatest comics ever, hands down.
Yeah.
But he's gotten so far away from being just
A silly goose.
a guy that writes jokes. Now it's like so much of, I've got this
activism.
point. And
Yeah.
Which, social commentary and stuff. And that's got its place and that's cool. And, go through and do it. I think what he says is important and it's good. But it's hard for me to sit there and go, yeah, this was his greatest special. I think it was a great performance. I can't say that I think it's a great comedy special. I watched it and that closer that takes 20 minutes or whatever. I'm like, there's 4 laughs in a 20-minute span or something. I'm like, wow,
Yeah, like if he wasn't Dave Chappelle,
No one could
no
get away with
audience
that.
would put up with it.
No.
Dude, this is exactly how I feel about George Carlin. I mean, I fucking love George Carlin, but I don't know if he's ever made me laugh. I'm so intrigued by the way he thinks and what he has to say, but I don't think I've ever laughed watching his stuff, except for his like very early 70s
he was
shit.
kind of on the same. It was almost the same trajectory as Chappelle. He definitely got more into I don't know if opinionated is really the word, but yeah, where it's not so much like here's just jokes. It's let me point this out to you. Do you notice this?
Yeah.
And it's still funny, and still brilliant, but yeah, like I get that too.
Yeah.
I had to look up who that was.
Who George Carlin was?
You don't know who George Carlin is?
My God, there's literally a record hanging on our basement wall.
I knew the name, okay, but I was
She's
picturing
like
the wrong
sax player. Yeah,
I was
he's great.
picturing the wrong person. So I was like, I think I know that name, but I just had to double
That's all
check.
right. I mean, you're not a comedy nerd. She, up until like 2 months ago, she had a bit of her own where she'd be like, I think it's so corny for people to go up on stage and try to be funny. Like, it's just so cringy. I'm like, what you're doing is a bit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even
Yeah,
understand that you have a bit. Talking about how having bits is fucking lame.
Yeah.
And then we went up to a few comedy shows and she's like, okay, all right, I'm changing how I feel about this. Like, it's not cringy the way I thought it was. I actually like it a lot more than I thought it could.
It can be. Listen, it can be extremely cringy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there have
to
been
get
some
through.
at the open mic nights that we've been to, and I'm just like,
Fuck.
I mean,
What?
so as far as like the ones that you guys have gone to, is it mostly at one night stands, or have you guys
Yeah.
gone to
Yeah.
any like bar ones?
I haven't gone into a bar.
Well,
haven't gone
buddy,
into-
boy, oh boy, it's time for you to do some research. All right, if you're gonna have comics on here, you need to go and check out, because the open mics, quote unquote, that are at a comedy club are not true open mics. They really aren't, because that audience is not the audience you're gonna get at a bar.
Okay.
It's
Right.
absolutely not.
You already have comedy fans.
Those are comedy fans that are there. They know they're gonna laugh. They want to laugh. They're ready to laugh. You go to an open mic where no one in the bar knew that comedy was gonna happen, and they're in the middle of eating dinner, and then they shut off like the fucking Pistons game that they're watching,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden some guy gets up and starts talking about his asshole or something. I mean, that's an open mic,
Dude,
I
whoever
mean,
can go into that situation and command the room is it's got to be a true professional.
it's for someone who goes up that is a complete and total unknown. You can get their attention. The real trouble's keeping it.
Yeah.
You can start off and kind of get them riled into something, but to keep the attention the whole time. But some of them are just suicide missions. Some of them there's no, or unaliving missions. I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I'm just gonna go home depressed. That's
But,
what I
yeah.
signed up to be, depressed tonight.
But that's the thing is like I said, like open mics, you're not there to go think you're gonna crush and you're gonna kill.
Yeah.
You're going there to get your reps in. You're getting time on stage. You're getting comfortable saying the things you want to say and kind of learning the rhythm of what's actually comfortable coming out of your face. Which is weird to say, but it is. There's stuff that you write down and you don't really say it out loud because you've written it, so you're thinking it in your head. And in your head, there's a cadence, and then you say it out loud, and your voice doesn't match what's in your head, and you're like, oh, words need to move around or something just to make it comfortable to say, And
I've literally had this thought, like I've told a story at work, and I'm like, that's not how I wrote it down at all.
no,
And I'm like, why did I fucking... And then I like read, like I'll sit down and read what I write, and I'm like, that's not even how I talk. Why is my writing voice so completely different than my actual speaking voice and how I word stuff and
I think
my cadence of talking?
I think most professionals all get to the point to where they never really write the whole thing out. You know, they come up with a premise and maybe they'll write like a phrase that they know they want to use that phrase. But then what really makes them a professional is they already know how to kind of edit on the fly. You know, they know what's going to work, you know, because they've just been doing it forever and, you know, done in front of so many people. So they don't have to sit there and write it down word for word.
Yeah.
You know, I still sit and I really write a lot of stuff down, very detailed. But then when I get up on stage, I'm not as nitpicky or like diligent about saying it word for word.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to know what the main thing that I think is going to get the laugh is, and try to make the rest of it more like conversational. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really the thing. You want to have a conversation to the crowd, and they don't get to say shit. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's what. See, there's two things I was gonna say. Well, I was talking about Seinfeld and like what I don't really like about the way he writes. He is like particular about each word, which I think is. I mean, he's like one of the greatest of all time, so who the fuck am I?
It works for him.
But I don't think it would work for me. I don't think my mind is like...
Yeah, he's
like
one
that.
of one. I mean, there's no other dude like him
Yeah.
or Larry David. I mean, they're,
Right.
you know.
But then, so the other thing I was going to bring up to you is, so if you're working out material and you're doing this material 20 times, trying to work it out, trying to get it as polished as it can be, how do you go about that and still feel connected to the content of the material without feeling like you're doing karaoke?
I guess it's kind of like, and I have had, I mean, there are times when you get up there and I feel like a parrot, you know, I'm just like, and those shows are never good, you know, you might get some laughs, but they're not as good as they could be. And, you know, you're just going through the motions, you know, and I've definitely had that. And it usually kind of happens, at least for me, whenever that happens, shortly thereafter, it'll be a slump in writing where I can't really get anything for a little bit. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, I'll have like 3-4 things like boom, 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 you know, that come in and I'll start working on. And then I'm excited about those new things, which puts excitement into the old things.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure, yeah.
Because I try to, as far as like when I perform, I really try to do kind of like a storyline. Like I am pretty specific about like where my bits go in the set because I am more of a storyteller. So it's, you know, if you have a bunch of jokes where nothing is connected to the other stuff whatsoever, it doesn't matter as much where you put it. You know, you can kind of jump around to whatever, but mine kind of in a way is like a story arc.
You're almost using like therefore writing. So it's like A happens, therefore B
this
happens.
This goes to this, and
therefore
then,
C
and then
happens.
this next thing that I'm talking about isn't the exact same thing, but you can see the common line through it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, and I've always done that. You know, and even when I first started, I've had people that even at open mics that were like, you know, it's good how, you know, your set flows through it. You know, so I do like that. Where it kind of goes along, and there's not necessarily that the whole thing's themed, but there is a kind of a natural, like it leads from this to this to this, and maybe it's just because that's easier for me to remember too.
Yeah.
Because I know if I do this, this is going to be connected to this, and this can kind of go to that, so it's easier for me to kind of keep rolling.
Yeah.
To where if I had just a bunch of random non secular stuff, like there's no way I could go through. Because even the stuff that I have, like this last show I did Saturday. I mean, it was fine. I got, you know, compliments and everyone was happy about the show and you know, fist bumps and blah, 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 all that great stuff.
Yeah.
To me, I didn't think it was great because I jumbled a couple things towards the end. And, you know, like it wasn't in the flow of how I guess I would have wanted it or whatever. But I also like started throwing extra stuff in just because I was like, they're a pretty good crowd, and
Yeah.
and they told me do 20 to 25 minutes. So it's like, well, if I got that leeway where it doesn't really matter, I can play with that 5 minutes. Then
Sure.
fuck it, I'll throw this in there, And I closed on something that I definitely wish I wouldn't have, because it wasn't like my closer. But I was done at 20 minutes, and I was like, I got 5 extra minutes though. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So I did this other bit or whatever, and it was fine, but it wasn't.
And we're talking about like you were driving to Ann Arbor to get a 5-minute set potentially. So yeah, fuck yeah, you're gonna use those 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was a show that I did Saturday out in Memphis at a golf course or whatever. That was a show for the comedy series, and but yeah, so that's another thing. That's another thing. No, when you start like doing shows too, if you go to open mics, that's where you're supposed to try new material, right? But you can't really know how good it is unless you do it in front of a real crowd. So you have to throw new stuff into when you get like a booked show, I wouldn't say go try to do, if you've got a brand new 5 minutes, just automatically plug that 5 minutes into your set at the next show you have, because it could all eat it.
Yeah.
But if you've got your set laid out and it's like you've got whatever joke you did at the open mic out of the 5 minutes, you had one that you thought was definitely a pretty strong joke and maybe got some chuckles at an open mic, put that one into your set. Do one new and always put it in the middle.
Yeah.
Because then
you kind of got some padding
the
on
stuff,
both ends.
the stuff before I know gets a good reaction. The stuff after always gets a good reaction. So put it in the middle, and what happens. And,
Yeah.
and that's what I did. But then I just threw this thing in at the very end, which I've done that a few times. I did a taping. I got on this thing, the comedy mix down in Detroit, and it was at the Comedy Bar, and. This guy had saw me at Comedy Castle, close out a showcase, and he came up to me. He's like, "Oh, we're going to film this show, and it's going to be like Detroit's version of Def Comedy Jam, and we're going to, try to sell it, and blah, 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 blah. I want to put you on the show." And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because, you get people that always talk shit and tell you they're going to put you on something. So I'm like, whatever. This guy got a hold of me. Here's the show. Okay, I walk in, and it was full. 3 cameras, lighting, sound. It was a production. Like, it was legit. And I was like, oh, I might be over my head a little bit. Holy shit, And but it was great. And I had a good set. But the first thing that I said, my opener and my closer were not typical openers or closers. They were new, both of them. And I don't know why I thought I should put those in there. And I did. And, the opener got okay. The very first thing I said I didn't write. It was just a thing off the top of my head. And that absolutely destroyed the room. It was awesome. And they used that in the promo for the video. But the closer, it got laughs, but it wasn't what I should have closed on, and you look back at that stuff and you drive yourself insane. Like,
yeah.
Fuck, why did I put that? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why did I do that? And I've done that on some shows that were, I've never been on like a big, huge, important show, but there are shows that are more important than others or bigger than others. And there's been a couple of times where I don't know if it's an internal self-sabotage thing where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm putting the new thing in the beginning or the new thing in the end, and you just do it, and then afterwards I'm like,
just want to rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, it's like, why would I think that was a good idea? And I've done that a few times, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna, there's so many ways to write. There's so many ways that people do it and edit and come up with material and all this stuff. It's, you don't know until you just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
I can show you. You want to see how close I am to a serial killer? So
yes,
I'll show you a little bit of my editing process.
You see my playroom, right? And this is just like an idea that I've.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, dude.
So when I go through and I do any mic, any show, anything, I tape all of them, and I write everything that I'm going to do down, and then
I love this.
I watch the video afterwards, and I color code every
What went well?
joke.
What was questionable?
What was the best
what
one?
sucked?
What was shitty? What did I forget to do? You know, these ones are ones I didn't get to do because at whatever time or something
Yeah.
or whatever, forgot, blah, blah, blah. So like then I go through and I write notes about all of them.
I
put
love
the
this.
time that I got on there, how many laughs per second I got on there. This is probably some type of mental illness. I don't know, but
No, I love this.
But yeah, so and this is what I do, you know. So, you know, some people don't. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely people that are like, it's not. You don't get a natural feel. I don't know. I don't know if that's the way to really put it, but like, it doesn't seem genuine or something like that. If you're that like, you know, really try to set up what you do and you know what you're going to do. And, you know, it may come off like you're reciting more than, you know, than just up there like joking. Because, I mean, the whole thing is you want it to be like you're talking to a room full of your friends. You know, that's really what it comes down to.
And you want it to feel like it's the first time you said this thing.
You want it to feel like, hey, I just came up with this idea. Check this out. Yeah. So that's why I think like now the more I go, even though I write things out very specific and then I'll really try to whittle it down, you know, any fat that's on the joke or whatever, once I go to say it, I'm still not trying to do it word for word. I'm trying to whittle it down and be like, well, I know like this is really, I need to get down to something like this. And then as long as I got that idea, then usually on stage, I can still stay pretty short, but still kind of keep going. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I got a pretty good, stage presence, I guess. I'm pretty loud when I'm on a mic. And I don't mean to be. It just
You don't
is.
say.
Am I loud?
No, just kidding.
Yeah. So like, there's some people that get up and they're pretty timid up there, you know, and I'm pretty. Not obnoxious. Well, probably fucking obnoxious. I don't know, but I know that I'm pretty loud. So, you know, I've had pretty good consistency with like being able to get people's attention, keep their attention, you know.
Yeah.
But there's some places don't. Ann Arbor's a harder spot for me. I don't get as good you know,
I think I prefer
result in Ann Arbor. Sometimes Lansing's tough, you know. But those are also younger.
I was gonna say those
Yeah,
are
this is
college
like
towns.
college
you know,
towns,
so
so like
are a little bit different. I didn't go.
Like,
I didn't say
you get
I
on
didn't go
stage-
to college, but I didn't go to a traditional college, and I definitely didn't graduate from college.
you like
so,
you
know.
get on stage like, what's up, homos? And then you're like, why can't I get this crowd? Why can't I win this
That
crowd?
one
over?
not going to fly in Ann Arbor. I can tell you that. All right, I can tell you that. No, there's just it's just different groups of people, and you see like with the, like I said in Ann Arbor, you know, it's there's some unbelievable. I think there's some really, really good, really, really strong comics that are in Ann Arbor, or at least go to Ann Arbor a lot, and that's kind of like what they view as their hometown turf, or you know. And the Ann Arbor Showcase is definitely their like home club and everything, and they're great comics. They're super funny, but you know, I've seen some of those people go to other places and do those same sets, and they don't get the reaction, you know, the same.
Yeah,
the
I'm
same
curious.
thing,
Like
you know?
thinking about it, I'm like thinking about like all the podcasts that I've listened to, just listening to the biggest comedians, and you know, the guys that came up in Boston have a certain style because it's like they have no attention. Like you have to demand the attention from these people, but then also there's some people that came up like Mark. Who's that fucking God? Why am I drawing a blank? Mark. The one that's always in fucking trouble for being an asshole.
Mark Maron?
Mark Maron.
Yeah.
So like
He's a Boston guy.
Like Mark, is he?
Or no, he's from Arizona. I think he lived in Boston though for a long time.
Okay. But Mark Maron and like Tig Notaro have these like obviously you lean a certain way and you have a certain way of talking, and you're like, it is so different than the Boston rant style guys who are screaming.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, so like listen to me, I'm just a mess. Oh, look, you know what I mean? And it's like it's so vastly different between the two of them. I really wonder like nature versus nurture kind of deal, but like with your style of comedy, like you go into a place where you have to demand attention. You have to fucking scream to get it Versus like if I go to Royal Oak and I talk about like how fucking I'm such a mess, I'm so traumatized, and I do my fucking Tig Notaro impersonation, like where's that gonna play out?
Yeah,
For the best of them,
Yeah, for sure. There's, even really like I do think definitely where you do the most comedy shapes how you do it. Like that's why so many people go to New York, to LA, to Austin. All three of those, and I would say even like kind of Nashville now and Chicago. New York, everyone that's in the New York circuits, their jokes are tighter and they're faster and they're kind of like boom, 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 because there's so many more people there. They're doing New York. You can go and do 3-4 sets a night if you're a professional comedian. 3-4 sets a night at legit comedy clubs every night of the week.
How huge would
and that's
that
what
be?
Mark Norman does. Like he's like, he'll even talk about it. He's like, he's a psycho with it. Like he's doing like 2 or 3 mics a night, and then Thursday through Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, he's going and playing clubs or theaters or whatever.
He's touring,
So if he's home in New York, he's still performing like 3-4 times a night at comedy clubs for comedy crowds. And New York is such a diverse place. You're getting, you're getting all kinds of people. LA, I think there's more like of the storyteller, more of the character type stuff. Those are people that want to be in movies and they want to be in TV shows. Yeah, so you get like those people that are a little bit more whatever performative and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people would say now that Austin is the bro capital of the fucking planet.
The new hub.
Yeah, and which, I get it. I haven't been down there. I know plenty of, there's been quite a few comics from Michigan that have been on Kill Tony lately, within the last.
I got one coming on.
Oh, yeah? Who you got coming on?
Got Omar something or other. I'd have to look at, dude, I've scheduled 1,000 people in the last few months, but Omar
something.
Him I don't know. But yeah, like Floyd Jones was just on.
Floyd Jones, Jesus Christ, that's who's coming on.
Okay, yeah.
How'd you get Omar on Floyd?
I have a comedian named Omar coming on. I do, but Floyd Jones is coming on.
Yeah, he was just on there like a couple weeks ago.
Those are very different names.
But yeah,
Paige.
but there's been a decent amount, and like Mason Bird, he got the golden ticket like a few months ago or whatever. Mason's super funny. I've done a bunch of open mics with him and stuff, and Floyd too. But yeah, like it's and I think Nashville's kind of that spot now because Nate Bargatze's there. I feel like that's like kind of the clean capital, where a lot of the cleaner comics are going.
The televangelists are coming
the southern guys, are going there and stuff. And so, there's, I do think it is like places you go, you develop a different, you're kind of going to, because you're going to a little bit get influenced by all the other comics that you're always around, because eventually you're going to see what works for them and you're going to try to figure out how to make it work for you too. So, you know, I don't know. There's that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm up here talking like I've been doing this for 20 years.
No,
so
but obviously you're doing knowledge. Yeah, no, my knowledge on it is literally just listening to podcasts for the last 10 years. So
and that's that. And honestly, it's so funny because there's so many now that kind of like pull the curtain back. You know, if it wasn't for podcasts and my wife, then I probably never would have tried to do it. Yeah. You know, that really was a thing. Because I didn't realize until listening to pods that how many of these people are like, oh yeah, it takes me a year or maybe 2 to make an hour's worth of material, and they're working the same material for that long just to try to do a special, and how much the repetition is. I mean, there's a ton of comedy is repetition. You know, it's just doing it and doing it and doing it
and polishing it and just and it's funny, you listen to the biggest guys on the planet, talk about as soon as they record it, they think of something, a new
Something
tagline,
funnier.
a new,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
a new something, a new
Well, you can
premise
change it
within
forever.
the premise, and
you can
for
change
sure.
it forever.
And there's definitely guys that like ride the same fucking material forever. And but those guys kill a market when they go there. Like,
I think there's less people that are like that where I've heard, guys from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, they had an hour of material and they did that material for their entire career.
Toured it to
and
death.
They toured it forever and they never had to, never wrote. And those guys were great, like dealing with the crowds or whatever, because that was the only thing that they ever had to improve. Because other than that, they had this, this hour of stuff that they they could have done it frontwards, backwards, and upside down. It doesn't matter what was happening. That was their stuff. And I mean, to me, that sounds like awful. Because I mean, as I haven't been doing it that long. I mean, I got stuff that I'm sick of doing. That I would rather not do it anymore. But it works. And like lately, some of that stuff I've added more onto it that's different. So then it makes it okay. Well, I've some stuff that I did for a long time is I've really cut it down and made it really short because it leads into this other stuff that I like doing more just because it's newer. So, it's you can refine it forever.
See, that's kind of what I was talking about with like not liking I don't want to say I don't respect people that write non sequiturs because they're the absolute like pinnacle of joke writers. But I feel like you're missing part of the art form where you get to play with timelines and you get to go like, okay, well, this leads into this, but like I can branch off into this. And then I have a mini thing within there. And then I can circle back to the premise that I started with there. And you can almost play with this like multiverse of all these different jokes that tie into each other versus like Mitch Hedberg's just like, I want a regular banana later. So yes. And you're like, okay, cool. That one's over. Next one.
Well,
you know what I mean?
He's like that. I mean, he was the first guy. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright's
is probably the first guy that was like
non sequiturs.
But it's so funny too when you see all these guys and they blow up and it's like, oh, this new comic. It's like that dude's been doing this for 15 years. You know, I mean, no one's an overnight. No one's done comedy for a year or two and is headlining a theater. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Even, Seinfeld, I think this is crazy, but I think he did like Carson like 4 years in, which is insane. But he also said that, he writes 4 hours every single day.
Yeah. And he's a psycho about the way he writes.
He is absolutely a psycho. And honestly, like he doesn't put out specials, like a bunch of specials, because he's so meticulous on his jokes that it takes him forever to write the jokes, And then he's the guy, I've heard him say, where he really is like, why would you ever get rid of a joke? If the joke works, why get rid of it? Maybe put it aside and don't do it this night or that night, but why not do it?
When you're talking about New York and you're like, you like these guys go in front of such a diverse crowd that you kind of are able to make material that's going to work everywhere. That made me think about Doug Stanhope saying, why the fuck would I do a crowd that doesn't know me? I've been building a fan base for 20 years. And you're like, okay, but now you're writing to your fan base instead of like, you could be the biggest guy on earth instead of just like the guy that's wearing the weird suits in Arizona. You know what I mean?
But you gotta.
don't get me wrong. He is huge and he's absolutely deserves where he's at. But
the best stand-ups are artists, and a lot of artists are like, I just want to do my art. They don't care about. I don't need a yacht to. You know what I mean? They're kind of like that thing where like, oh, I don't have to get up at 6 a.m. and go pipe fitting.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, I can sleep until noon and then write for 2 hours and then get in my pool and then fuck around and then go to the club and work for 45 minutes.
Right.
And then come home. I mean,
it's
pretty
kind of
legit life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing that, really bums me out, and I try to take my head out of it, is that I started so late. So like to me, it's like I don't really have I don't see like, oh, well, in 20 years, I should be there. It's like no one wants to listen to a fucking 70-year-old at a theater. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm 45, so I started 2 years ago. It's like I'll have fun regionally, and that'll be it. But it's like if you really want to do it, I think you got to be the person that goes to New York, I mean, to me, I feel like New York's the place where you'll be an amazing comedian. Like if you go there and you grind it out for years there, that's really what's going to make you the best comic, just because
the amount of reps.
Yeah, just volume. Like you can do so much more.
Also, let me pause real quick. Rodney Dangerfield got his start at how old and became a legend?
Rodney Dangerfield started in his 20s
and then
quit
stopped
for a while,
to sell fucking roofs for 25 years.
but was still writing.
Okay.
He was still writing stuff. But true. It's still true.
But
like
the point
even
stands,
before
he wasn't
really,
doing it for 20 years.
No, he was.
know?
Yeah, I think he was like 45 when he came back and broke or
Yeah,
whatever.
he raised his fame up.
Yeah,
and then got back to it.
And it's funny. I heard someone saying that they saw like some stuff of him like a year or two before he like started doing Carson. You know, around that age, 45 or whatever, and even just like a year or two before that, he didn't have that cadence that everyone knows as Rodney Dangerfield. He didn't quite have that yet. He still did one-liners, you know, but he didn't have that persona of, you know, getting no respect, you know. So it's like you kind of got to hope that you find the thing that also a mass amount of people connect to, you know. I mean, now it's like,
and he almost had like a sing-songy like jazz. He had this like jazzy rhythm to the way that he spoke. It's like,
yeah, it definitely was a pattern, definitely was a rhythm. You know, you knew all of his jokes. The longest one was going to be 20 seconds, maybe. You know, I mean, there was no stories. You know, I mean, there was a story. That's the thing is like his persona, all of his stuff kind of did fall into the same. It was all related. You know, all of his jokes, but he wasn't telling a story, a specific story, I guess I should say. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of people that start so late that, you know, make a big name, and I don't really care about that anyway. I just love doing it. But the dream would be that I could have that as my job. That would be the dream. Right. But I'm also realistic.
But also, I mean, like just you pulling out your folder and showing like what kind of work ethic you have with this, that puts you so far ahead of 90% of people that are artists, because as a guy who
unorganized group of humans,
as a guy who has to work his ass off, like I see people who are artists or creative types and that have absolutely no work ethic, and they're like, I don't understand why nothing's happening. And I'm like, because you fucking put out nothing in like 2 years, and you like. Just because you think that you're special, no one knows that you're funny. No one knows that you can write good guitar riffs, whatever the fuck the thing is. But you're not putting effort into it, and then you're like, almost like, I mean, I've seen this like victim mentality in people that don't work hard, and you're like, hey, you're not doing the work. Who the fuck knows about you if you're not doing the like? Look at this. This is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a huge loss every month.
But you love doing it.
But motherfucker, we got 300,000 views on one video yesterday. You know what I mean? Like,
there you go.
And it's like, but it's because we're working our asses off for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a
no one cares if you think you're interesting. You got to do the fucking work.
There's a lot of people that just assume, you know, they deserve this, that, or the other. There's also a lot of delusion, you know, in comedy. There's and bands too. You know, there's people that go up and you see them just eat it, you know, and they come off the stage and they're like, got him tonight. And you're like, got who?
Where?
Who the fuck did you get?
Yeah, you know.
Can you let them know that everyone else should be got too?
Yeah, you know, there's bands that are like, God, I can't, you know, we're not getting booked on this festival or this show or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, because you don't draw anyone and you're terrible, you know. But so there's a lot of delusion like that. And
this entitlement too, you want the man, like I've seen artists who want the lifestyle, but they're not doing the thing that you have to be psychotic about to get there.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this a fucking million times. I have full on psycho mode when I care about something. And then I see like musicians who are like, yeah, we've been touring for 10 years. It's like, all right, sick. Like when I looked you guys up, you had 3 albums and they all sound like rip-offs of something that was written
Yeah.
30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So like, what are you doing? That's like, why, like, you can't just be this fucking caricature who puts on the correct clothes and then says the right things and then all of a
Puts the
sudden,
right font on their T-shirt.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, this going back and working at the radio station, when I was at Machine Shop every weekend, I mean, the local band scene, there was a couple bands that were pretty good. But if you took their music and played one song next to the other, I couldn't tell you what band was what band. They
Yeah.
all sounded the exact same, and they still weren't that great.
That's what I'm saying.
And you
Yeah.
you get those people that they expect, and I think that kind of goes along with comedy and comedians too. Is they kind of assume that just the time of doing it has something to do with it. Like, oh well, I've been doing it for this long, so I should get this. It's like, well, not necessarily.
I know if you're not putting in the
you know,
work.
dude, I know pipe fitters who are like, I've been doing this 30 years. And I'm like, and you've sucked the entire time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just pipe fitting. Like there's no like interpretation of pipe fitting. You fucking did it or you didn't.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, maybe the timing and how well it was done, but other than that, it's pretty fucking black or white. But then we're getting into the world of art where it's like, okay, I'm a drummer. All right, do you practice your rudiments?
Yeah.
Because you play the drums like a fucking 6-year-old. You know what I mean? Like why would I listen to your band if you're playing power chords and doing shit that everyone was doing in the 80s? Like, I don't give a fuck about what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and with comedy, I can't, I don't know, I guess I can't really speak on it as much, but there's so many mediocre artists
Great. You walked the other host.
that she's
Great.
like, she's running away because I'm talking about her. No. But no, she,
Always at about 2 hours in.
yeah. This is why I don't drink water, so I can drink alcohol like an adult.
Yeah.
And
Grown-up stuff around here.
But there's so many like mediocre artists that like almost have this entitlement, and they play this victim where they're like, it hasn't happened yet. Why hasn't it happened yet? And I'm like, I can fucking tell you why. Like let's talk about why. The whole world is social media right now. Okay, so like
100%.
your video quality sucks, your audio quality sucks. You put out no reels. When you do put out videos on Facebook, they're like awkward selfie double chin videos where I'm seeing more of your fan than of your face.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, why am I getting no views? Hey, spend 5 minutes, buy $1,000 camera, like just one time.
Right.
Buy a $40 lapel mic and put it by the speaker so that you get good audio instead of like audio from the middle of the crowd on your cell phone that your wife recorded. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you could do that puts you way ahead of everyone else that's a lazy fuck.
I will say this, and that's one thing that I definitely am so bad at is the social media stuff. But
I wasn't talking about you. I was just talking second person.
Yeah, no. But that is one. That's my biggest thing that I'm not good at all.
Yeah.
But a lot of it too is like, well, do I? And I've kind of seen some people talk about this where it's like, do you really want to put out the stuff that you do when you're just starting out? Because once it's out there, it's out there.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like this thing. It's like, well, should I, put all that stuff and try to really get followers and do all that and everything? And it's like, well, what am I going to use? Because it's like, I think some of my stuff, is good and it's funny. I'm super harsh critic on myself. So, for the most part, I'm like, I know that probably a year from now, a lot of this I'm not even going to use. A lot of these jokes or bits or whatever, I probably won't even use them. I'll move on from it. So it's like, I don't know when I should really look at that and start putting more like concentration into it, putting more time and learning all that. And also I'm like, oh, God, John, that seems like so much more work also to go through and fucking do.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a ton.
And it's like, already it's like, okay, between like writing and going out the nights I can go out and then, the wife and kids, family, the actual real job, it's like, time starts getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer,
hard.
So that's why I definitely think, as far as becoming a real like professional comedian, it is a young person's game.
Especially people that don't have families, real jobs yet.
You can go
No one relying on
wherever
them.
you can do. I'll go and do, like I was saying, open mics in Grand Rapids or Toledo or whatever. And there's a lot of clubs that, I would like to go through and send stuff out to and be like, hey, do you need a host or whatever? But they're 4 hours away and they're 3 hours away. And it's like, that's hard for me to just justify for, going and being gone for 2 nights or whatever to host for $50 or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I was 20, if I was 25, I wouldn't care. I'd be like,
hell yeah, I'm doing this. What an opportunity.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And that's what I kind of look at now. But it's, being older, like I can afford to do some of those and it doesn't matter. The money I make from comedy, which isn't jack shit, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect whether I would still do all those shows if I didn't get paid, but I want to get fucking paid. But no.
Yeah.
But I would still do it because I don't care. I just love doing it, and it's not, I don't have to live off of it, And I think also starting older, gives me, I got more references to, I got more experience to talk about,
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't tell you how many 21, 22-year-olds, kind of, they might be really funny, but they don't have a whole lot of stuff to talk about.
It's also probably a lot of the same stories.
It's a lot of you get a lot of stuff that kind of crisscrosses where it's like, you're all kind of doing the same. Yeah, you're kind of doing, and that's kind of what it is you're living that, that life of your early 20s where you're just fucking around. So you can get good stories out of it, but it's like, I got a pretty huge bank of stupid shit I've done, so I got stuff to pull out of, but yeah, it's trying to kind of separate the fantasy from the reality of it,
I mean that's a school of thought too, is like a thought experiment. It's like if you had $1 billion, you'd never have to work again, you don't have to worry about the kids, don't have to worry about the wife, don't have to worry about the bills, what would you spend your time doing? And I'm like, all right, cool. Let me focus on those things because that's what I actually want to do. And like I'm a pipe fitter. I'm a union pipe fitter. I make good money.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like.
No.
It's not like.
Not gratifying.
It's not like. It's like I go to work and I'm like, I do my job, but I'm like, but like when I go home, I'm like, fuck. Like there's like this just buckets of creative energy that I haven't used. Because my job is math and it's fucking figured out by some 25-year-old engineer kid that I'm most of my job is just the skill of what I spent fucking 5 years learning how to do. Yeah. So now it's just, all right, now do the thing. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm doing the thing. But like, why am I going home feeling like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, cool, I'm making good money, but like, who gives a fuck?
That's that's us whiny, the crying artist. That's that's us whining about it because we're not getting everything that we want. We're throwing a hissy fit,
right? Right. But so like using that thought experiment though, it kind of drives like, okay, well, what do I want to spend my time doing? Because
I've thought about that. I was like, man, if let's say I just played the lottery and won $10 million, I could do comedy all I want. But then I'm like. But then aren't you relatable as a real person anymore?
I don't want that money.
You know what I mean?
It's just...
But you think about that stuff. It's
for
like,
sure.
It's like,
I don't want
to me, I mean, there's definitely like people that have gotten success and you see them change and you see their, but I guess that's a natural evolution too. I've read, actually, who was it? It was Jeff Foxworthy. Some book, I forget the name of the book, whatever. But... this whole thing where they explain that anyone who's creative, you really go from your 20s to your 40s is like where you're the most creative, where you're going to be your best.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just a, downward slope. And, I think about that shit too. It's like, oh, man, I started on the downhill. Son of a bitch,
Means you got momentum already.
Yeah. But, it's weird. I mean, it's a hobby, and it's that hobby that you always wish that somehow that could be your, the thing you do, but it's not easy. I mean, even for, someone who's in their 20s, who's really funny, who's got, no responsibility and they can take every gig and travel and do all that stuff. it's a near impossibility even for them to go through and, be like a big name, legit, comic.
But if you're going into something with the intention of being the biggest thing, it might work for the one or two psychos, but for the most part, that's a tainted idea anyway.
Yeah, no, you gotta do it just because you like the art of doing
and that's
it,
and that's where that thought experiment comes in. When it's like, all right, if I had the means to take care of my family and my life already, what would I spend my time doing? And for me, that's doing this,
right?
Meeting interesting people, sitting down, shooting the shit, talking about like what their life is like, and then like trying to find a commonality or whatever. And that's, I love that.
Yeah.
But I also am a huge comedy nerd, and I love comedy, and I want to start comedy, but I'm scared.
Just do it. Yeah. I mean, if you want to do it, just do it. Yeah. It's super fun, and you just gotta, you're gonna get the lumps, but it's listen, it's the same thing as if you're a band and you go out and play for the first time. You're not gonna go out and have a perfect show for the first show ever live. It's just what it is. You just, as long as you know that in your head when it really comes down to it, especially open mics, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you want to learn your lessons from it. You want to do what you can to get better for the next one. But as far as what happens, even if you're the best comic on that open mic that night, guess what it does for you? Nothing.
Not at
all. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whatsoever. You get some people, that stroke your ego and they're like, oh, you crushed tonight, or you had a great set. I liked this joke, blah, 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 which is great. But it's just, an ego thing, you get pumped on that. But it's, it's just the rush of being on stage and just doing it. And, it's a lot of fun, man. You meet cool people, you meet some shitty people, but it's just this weird experience. But if you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Just get up there and do it. I'll tell you plenty of shitty ones to do. There's lots of them. I mean, that is one great thing about Michigan, though, is Michigan does have a really good comedy scene. I mean, there's a lot of places to go and do comedy and do open mics and stuff. I mean, there's pretty much an open mic you could do any night of the week, if not a couple of them. I mean, maybe driving a little bit, but I mean, there's some to go and do everywhere. Yeah. So I mean, there's like I said, a lot of good comics in Michigan. There's a lot of people that I feel like are kind of in their zone or in their area, and they're comfortable there, and they're really not pursuing so much of a career with it, and they're hilarious, and they're really funny, and they're great comics, and they're just, they just do it to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's typically what the best ones are. The ones that I see that are really fighting and clawing to, I don't know, do whatever they think they're going to do, usually,
suck.
Not suck, but they usually just don't do much because they rub people the wrong way, or it's ridiculous to try to kind of fuck someone over or, talk shitty about someone when you're at the bottom of, and not,
the way you stay afloat is by dragging people under the water.
Yeah. It's just kind of crazy, but, there's a lot of cool people to do.
See, these are the kind of subcultures that I want to learn about more. And like this one, I specifically want to jump into. Yeah. But like with like doing this podcast, I want to learn more about the subcultures that I didn't get any time experiencing.
Sure.
Like, dude, I was a dad at 19. You know what I mean? Like, so I had
terrible pullout game. Yeah,
I did the whole Dane Cook. I did the bury it and pray, trying to shoot it into her heart, and then I had a kid. And so I had 3 kids by the time I was 25. So it's like my entire life was like I got to work and kids. But I'm like, oh wait, fuck! I like comedy. I like music. I like this. I like that. And I'm like, and I don't get to do any of that shit.
How old are you now?
32.
So how old's your youngest?
Tomorrow he'll be 32.
Yeah. Tomorrow's your birthday? Tomorrow's my birthday. Holy shit! Look at that. Yeah. Wow! Happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you, man. The youngest is 6.
Okay.
So like we're starting to get to the place where like we can have a little bit of a life without like, you know what I mean? And but just I don't want to be like, oh, I fucking suffered. I didn't suffer, dude. Having kids is the fucking greatest thing ever. But it did prevent me from like experiencing these like subcultures that I was super interested in that I wish I would have. If I had like gotten it out of my system in my 20s, I might not give a fuck about any of this, and I might just be like watching golf at home right now with my finger in my belly button, drinking a beer, and going like, "Go to bed."
True,
you know?
but when you're my age at 45, you're a 6-year-old, and you'll be 33, so that kid's 18.
Yeah.
So
How old are you?
I'm 45.
Okay. Oh, right.
So 45, you're gonna be able to go and you're gonna have way more freedom than a lot of. I mean, as far as my friends, a lot of us had kids a little bit later, like all in our mid to late 30s. Most of us.
Yeah, the appropriate age.
I got a couple friends that had them right out of the
The
gate.
correct age to have kids.
Is it though? That's
Yeah,
the thing, though.
yeah. I
don't know.
I have this like whole thing that I'm working on writing where I was so broke when I had my kids that I used to
Do you think that changes when you get older?
It does it does like as a journeyman pipe fitter. Fuck yeah, it does. Hold on, I was so broke when I had my oldest when I had my first kid that I would swipe my card at the pump and I would run inside to buy my cigarettes so that they wouldn't go through at the same time.
Nice, that's a good move.
And I'd have like
that's a good move.
I'd have like, oh cool, I got a tank of gas and my cigarettes for the day. And I got negative $40 in my bank account now. Killer. I got my gas and my cigarettes. I'm good. I can live.
I will tell you this: when I lived in California when I was 19, that's when like ATMs were still kind of I wouldn't say new. They've been around, but there were loopholes for sure. And so I had a bank that the ATM, when you went in, you would have to put checks or money or whatever in this envelope and then put the envelope into the ATM, right? It was not instant. So if you put it in there, it would instantly credit you the money in your account, but they wouldn't go through because it was in an envelope. They wouldn't count the money or see a check or take a picture of it or anything until the next day, right? So I used to go through all the time when I knew I was getting paid the next day or something and put the envelope in there and get money out. And then the next day, go to the bank and be like, I totally forgot to put the check in. I just accidentally put the wrong thing, like scam little bullshit like that. Oh, I used to do all kinds of stuff like that.
Checks in the mail kind of shit.
Yeah, checks in the mail or, like putting, writing a check. I used to be able to write a check to cash and put it into the ATM and get cash out. Like when there was no cash, and checking it. Like, I died. Kinds of stupid shit when I was. That was when I lived in California. Those were slim pickings when it came to earnings.
Illegal.
So, it is for sure. Was.
Yeah. Bouncing checks is illegal.
It wasn't bouncing a check though. I was just.
It fucking would have been if they had done it quick enough.
It was like what are the check cashing stores? Where they loan you the money.
Yeah.
I was just performing that to myself.
You were doing a cash advance.
Yeah, cash advance.
The bank didn't know that you were doing that.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
listen,
what the fuck's this guy doing? I
had some things working.
If he's gonna do this, we're gonna charge him 40%.
Yeah, it was. There's some way. I don't remember the whole thing now. It was so long ago, but there was something where I could go through and do it and not get like the overdraft fee to it. I don't know. There was,
dude. I have given scams. Chase Bank about $1 million in overdraft fees.
Oh yeah.
Like I struggled for, 15 years of just like struggling hard as fuck. Doing just ghetto shit like, I got gas in my garage for the lawnmower, but it's wintertime. All right, cool.
In the truck.
All right, cool. No, I'm gonna kill the power to the house and run the generator. Like ghetto shit.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Raising a family of 5 on like first period apprentice wages, where I'm making like $14 an hour with 3 kids and an old lady at the house.
Run a generator all night long. Run $15 of gas through it so you can save $2.30 on the electric
I already had
bill.
the gas.
Yeah.
I already had the gas. I already had the gas.
That money's already gone. I gotta save future money.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
That's
simple math. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah.
Hey, we're having ramen for a while.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, we should wrap this up. We're at like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So
Oh, all right. Shit,
man.
that went by faster than I thought.
it does, dude.
Yeah.
This is a time warp. We get in
is,
here,
yeah.
we get to
Yeah.
talking shit, and then all of a sudden it's fucking 9:30 at night. So.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks for having me on. It was
Dude,
fun.
thank you for filling
fun.
in, Peggy. You suck. No, I'm just kidding. I can't wait to
She's
have Peggy
old.
on.
She can't stay out this late.
I know. She ate dinner 7 hours
She's
ago.
like, we got to reschedule. Matlock's on, and I got to put some Ben Day on my knees.
I'm not gonna miss my stories for Matt's podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. Thank you so much for filling in. Honestly, like we
Yeah,
were
no
kind of
problem.
like up against the ropes there going like, fuck, what are we going to do for this week? So thank you for coming on last minute. Fucking appreciate you. And it was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was
I'm,
good.
I'm glad I was able to pick your brain because like as a guy who wants to start
Just do it.
and just being a bitch about it,
Just do it.
I can talk to a guy that
Show up tomorrow to one night stands. They usually have a couple show up, go
Oh.
up spots. You said you got some
There you
material.
go.
Come on.
you fucking
Put it up.
I'm going. We're gonna go, but I don't know if I'm going up. I'm gonna stand in the back corner, and then when you're like, "Is that Matt?" I'm gonna go, "Fuck you," and I'm gonna beeline right the fuck out.
And I'm going to be timing it to make sure I laugh every 12 seconds.
No. I need to know it real. I need to know real.
The real data.
Nope. I need to know real. I don't want fake stuff.
I'm going to laugh
No.
real loud every 12 seconds.
Dude, okay, so inside baseball, my ex's best friend works there,
Oh, okay.
and half of what I've written, my material, is shitting on my ex. So I would just go up there and be like, "Hey,
Just don't use names.
Amber, come on up here. You're just gonna stand on the stage with me while I shit on your best friend in the world for like 5 minutes." Like,
Not a good. This is what you don't want to do. You're talking inside baseball. Don't ever be shitty to the waitresses or the bar staff or anyone at a comedy club.
Oh.
But because you don't want to piss them off because they're the ones that recommend people to the bookers.
Yeah.
So I
love Amber. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
such a good person, but her best friend's a piece of shit, and I knocked her up 3 times. So
Oh, all right. Well, yeah,
there's the disconnect. There's like, how is this sack of absolute shit surrounded by really nice people? Like,
well, then they're gonna know. She's gonna be like, oh yeah, this is 100% true. I know all this stuff. Yeah. No, you'll be fine then. Yeah, you'll be good.
knows.
But yeah, it's funny. Like the comedy clubs, they're definitely like the employees. You want them. You always want to be extra nice to those people.
Yeah.
Because they like the people that they don't pick who's gonna be there, but they definitely have.
they definitely have influence.
Yeah,
If
they
you're
got
like,
some
oh, that guy's such a dick.
For the
like,
local
all
stuff,
right,
for
yeah,
like
yeah.
if you want to host, if you want to maybe
Yeah.
feature, headlining has nothing to do with it, but
Yeah.
little guest spots and stuff. I mean, they'll chirp some stuff. That's how I got into Toledo Funny Bone. Is Tony that works down there, Tony Toth, who he's a comic too. He does a lot of mics and stuff around Toledo, but he was. I had been down there for open mics a couple times, and I wanted to meet the booker. But I didn't. She's real busy all over the place, and I didn't want to bother her, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, come on. And he just kind of dragged me into her office. And then, she offered me a hosting gig like 2 weeks later. So
Hell
it's
yeah.
like, you get the people that work there to be on your side, and they'll maybe hook you up, at least help.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help to be shitty to anyone, no matter what.
Oh
So,
no, I would never be. I would never be.
But yeah, if her friend's a bag of ass, then she knows, and she's gonna be in on all the jokes. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's why I'm like, hey, I'm gonna pull you up, and you're gonna validate every story I tell.
That
hey,
or just be like, if there's anything that I forgot or missed,
Yeah.
remind me of it. And
like, hey, remember in our
tips.
first apartment when your fucking best friend threw a candle at my face and missed, and it lodged in the drywall, so we used to light it as a joke. Like, you might,
Fantastic.
Jesus.
yeah,
Fantastic.
oh, let's set the mood. Light the candle that's
Let's
lodged in the wall.
Let's light the wall on fire. I want to set the mood.
I wish dude, living in that apartment, I wish I would have. But dude, we gotta wrap it up.
Okay,
But,
I got it.
dude. Thank you so much for coming. Fuck
Yeah, no problem. No, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah. What's your socials, all that stuff?
Facebook, Instagram. I might have TikTok, but I don't put anything on there. Threads, all that shit. But just at Garrett Evans Comedy.
Killer.
That's it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much for coming on.
Hey,
You
man.
kind of saved the day. We got 2 guests this week still. I just had to, whatever. Peggy's going back to her home. I guess they were like wondering where she went.
Probably.
And,
She breaks out and goes. I think she just got done. Maybe she just got back. She was on the road. She was in I think they went to Indiana or something. She went and did a few dates.
is that where she got her reverse mortgage or?
I don't know. Yes. How do those work? The reverse? Well, yeah. Probably. I don't
Leave
know.
Peggy alone.
AARP. No, Peggy's awesome.
Yeah.
She's
She had to
funny,
go down there
she's
to get
awesome.
one of her Obama phones with the big buttons. So
Oh my.
No, she still uses smoke signals.
yeah, like the big
like in high school, you know?
Fuck yeah. Dude, all right. Like, subscribe, all that fucking shit I have to say. Peace.
This is not survival. It's finding purpose in what you love.
I'm pumped to be branching out and being like, hey, we're going to sit down and have a couple-hour podcast.
Is it?
Is it, dude?
Jesus
You
Christ.
just like talked for 5 minutes. I'm like, is it though? I've always been inspired by this shit.
Yeah. Dude, that pizza was so greasy.
It was disgusting.
It was not disgusting.
Disgusting.
Good times, Noodle Salad.